Morning, halftime. How's everybody today? Had a little difficulty sleeping last night. Matt Jones, I don't know if you had the same problem. Phil Elson here, Matt Jones in our ESPN Arkansas studios. C Unit, Kristen Johnston at the controls. We had some pretty nasty stuff outside the home studio yesterday. It was ugly. About 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning. He had nature put on a light show outside, and I have a feeling that we've been told that you could have some of the same things going on later tonight. Some of our listeners in Hot Springs may have been affected by a tornado yesterday. I saw some video from one of the news stations that tornado had touched down in Hot Springs. I don't know all the details about it or how much damage or destruction there was, but hope everything's all right around our 96.3 listening audience. Morning to you, Matt. I had a little trouble sleeping because of that last night. How about you?
Yeah, kind of normal, I guess. I went to bed around 1, and I was up by 6 this morning. So that's usually I like to get to sleep by 11, but I just couldn't get to sleep after watching Luka 1 for 8 from the 3-point line. Just kept throwing it up. You're like, bro, you got to do something else. But he's their superstar. So the thing is, if they're going to win, he's going to have to play better. Was impressed with Gadford. I mean, I think this is a really good matchup for Gadford. That there's no reason he can't have a double-double. I think he had 4 or 5 blocks as well. Dallas is going to have to play better. That's for sure.
Was there a hog-on-hog block? I didn't have the game on. I was at Little League.
Yeah. Jalen Williams, he had went up, and I think Gadford got him one time. But Gadford can get. Man, he had one block. It was a fast break, Phil. I'm not kidding you. The dude's elbow was at the square. Like, I mean, it was one. It was one. Like I bet you he's close. Now, I don't know if he can do it, but I bet you he's not 5 inches away from touching the top of the backboard, not just the square. Dude has hops.
Man, well, how much did Jalen Williams and Isaiah get on the court? Let's see, total of 32 minutes between the two of them. That's about right, isn't it?
Yeah, Isaiah's got a shot. You think, what else can he do? That's kind of the thing. You look at. I mean, being able to shoot the ball is a big time plus. But you look at the other guards they have. I mean, Giddey, he can't shoot for he can't throw it in the ocean, and he gets to play. Shea Gildress, man, he jumps into you, gets to the free throw line. He knows what he's doing. He's fun to watch.
Look at Jay Will to go off the bench. So 17 minutes, 11 points, 9 boards, 2 assists.
Just smooth with it, really. Like, if you watched him play, he was real smooth, under control, kind of just doing his thing. Nothing, didn't force anything. I don't know how many plays they run for him, but he's kind of knows his role, good teammate. That's what you want out of your role player, going 22 minutes and getting 11 points and being at 9 boards too. Man, that's getting it done.
33-8 at home in the regular season. Now 3-0 in the postseason at home.
I think the Thunder have won 10 in a row if you go back to the end of the season
at the Paycom Center.
And then just their last they won their last 5 regular season games, and they swept the Pelicans. So they're on a heater. Yeah, they won 10 in a row.
Well, I think Boston wins a bit. They kind of dominated in that.
Didn't
game
watch
a
single. Why would you watch it? You're going to get false information by watching Boston play Atlanta. You're going to fall in love with something that's not really
Cleveland.
Sorry, you're going to find something that you like it's not real. It's not something.
Don't scout that series.
It's not going
to.
Yes, it's not going to carry over. All you want, Phil, is for everybody to be healthy. They have no business being on the floor with Boston.
Don't even worry about having fun. Just be healthy because they're going to win it.
Be healthy, be smart.
Is that a sweep? Is that a sweep, or can the Cavs pull off one at home?
It might be a gentleman's sweep. When you have Donovan Mitchell, that dude, he can go for 50 any night. The thing I don't see, Phil, I'll be honest with you, when Max Struss is your second best scoring option almost, Mobley, they don't have. There's nothing else to go with, Phil. It's a one-man show.
Christian Springdale is a little worried about your 11 p.m. bedtime. He says he put in a text, 11 p.m. bedtime, yikes. Now, I don't know if that means he expects that you should be going to sleep earlier, or going to sleep later.
No, I mean 11 o'clock nights lights out. I'm in bed by 9.
Yeah.
Let's get this straight. I'm laying down, flipping the channels, checking whatever you're doing, and then it's like sleep time though. That 10:30, 11 gets here. It's time to shut the eyes. Yeah.
Takes a little bit of time for the
Yeah,
weight of
couple
the
hours.
eyelids to come all the way down.
That's right. That bed. No, it's yeah. It's as soon as the thing too, it gets the sun's going down so much later now. Phil, my schedule's kind of getting pushed back a little bit with. Got to golf and then got to fix dinner. You got to wind down. Yeah, so it's a whole process.
We're good for this. I mean, that's the whole thing about keeping daylight savings where it is. I love it when we've got the extra sun. Man, I mean, it's just you can be outside a little longer. Had the sun in my eyes a little bit longer at Little League last night. Nationals really put it on the Doyers 14-2.
How was Little League?
Good.
Did he get a hit?
3 walks.
Hey, there we go. Getting on base. That's
3 walks.
Yeah.
I think he scored 2 runs, including we had a grand slam yesterday for the LR Nationals. My son Gabriel is at first base. The kid who hit the grand slam, I mean, he turned around on this ball too. Wasn't an over the fence grand slam. I don't think we get too many of those at age 11 to 12. But it was a liner into the left center gap. This kid is so fast. He almost passed my son on the base. Like you were like legit. They were both like one right after the other coming down the third base line.
Willie Mays Hayes, yeah.
Well, and I've told you about Gabe before too. And I mean, I love the kid to death, but he's the one that might be looking at the butterflies flying around in the outfield. That's not what he was doing on the bases, because I mean, he actually has a little bit of awareness of what to do in the bases and how like where to throw the ball from the outfield. But I don't know if he's the fleetest of foot, especially for the kid who's hitting behind him. He almost got passed on a grand slam, but he did cross the plate when he needed to. Big celebration. That was my sports from last night, and it was fun. It was a lot of fun. 14-2. Don't feel any of that. It's nice when I'm around all the intensity and the nerves isn't the way to put it. It's just SEC weekends are intense. They always are, especially this time of the season when you're making the push and. They're trying to win a division, win a league, and get a top 8 national seed. So there's an intensity to it. Little League baseball, like I see, there are plenty of parents that treat it with an intense nature. I'm not one of them. I just kind of enjoyed the atmosphere, the sun in my eyes, the occasional mosquito bite, and not having to worry about talking throughout a game. It was really nice.
I saw a little bit of Shohei Ohtani going back to the big leagues a little bit, and we got plenty of time, and we'll get Alyssa Orange later on and ask her about it too. But he's clearly going to win the MVP now that he's not pitching, right? Like now that he's a one focused guy. Because I just thought of this today. You've brought this up. We've had James Teague on. I bet we asking questions and how specialized, how individualized it is to be a pitcher, a hitter, an outfielder. What you have to do in practice. And the fact now that he's taken that all the way out, that he doesn't have to put that energy into pitching, I mean, he's going to hit 50 jacks this year easy.
He had a season like that the year, but the first time he had the elbow surgery, and he was just a hitter the year with the Angels. He's going to get back to pitching next year. They're not giving him whatever. I don't remember what the contract was supposed to be worth. Now it's $2 million a year with all the deferred money, but they weren't giving him that just to be a hitter. So that was with the intent of him getting back on the mound next year. I guess it'd be interesting to wonder if he's going to be if he would relieve.
That's all you do. You can't, man. You don't want to mess him up, Phil. I get the shiny toy, the prize, and what you got, but man, that's a lot of ball that he's played. I maybe make him a Trevor Hoffman, make him a 7th inning, 8th inning, 9th inning guy. I just Eric Gange, whatever. He's so talented. That's your ace in the hole. I mean, why not? I don't think you make him a starting pitcher anymore.
Well, that definitely puts some taxing on that.
That's
arm.
it, right? Like what are you gonna? Then you lose your bat later on.
Oh, BE talking about Gabe with his 3 walks. Obviously, my son just buys into the old school Moneyball idea, which we can use the term old school with Moneyball since that was like 24 years ago.
Is his swing better than Kevin Youkilis's though? See,
he
this
doesn't
guy,
put
he's undervalued because
He doesn't put the bat all the way up there like Youkilis did. Youkilis has had the closest stance to Julio Franco that I can remember. Just you don't teach kids to hit like that.
What about
it's
that?
Only the special ones that can pull it off.
That Jeff Bagwell stance where he looks like he's sitting in a chair. He's like, hey, just stand up just a little bit.
He's one of the only hitters that I remember that when you would watch him swing, and you're supposed to take a step forward when you swing. No, his legs were so far apart, his first step was a little backward. that load, he was just a little backward. I think Pujols sometimes would be like that too.
I think
he was really on.
Luka Doncic should look at that for his defensive stance. Maybe break down a little bit better. That's perfect.
Well, so you brought up the idea with Luka being, he's got the old man moves at age 25. What we always think about old man moves with offense and the little shoulder fakes and the little dip and dive and just the ability to play through just enough contact around the rim and in the paint. What about old man defensive moves? He's never necessarily been like the ace defender anyway.
Yeah, that's you got to be able to use your body. That's to stay. Mitch Richmond, Gary Payton, the glove. That's how you want to play some defense. The rules have changed. It's so hard to stay in front of. I kind of halfway joke. It's not really, basketball is not made anymore to guard somebody one-on-one. It's physically impossible the way the rules are. And they're just too good at ball handlers. They're going to get past you one-on-one. You got to have help defense.
So who you got on your NBA schedule? I didn't even ask about Champions League. I said, no, we do have a
OMG.
No, well, hold on. So we do have a tradition. My kids and I, before Little League, we go have maybe this isn't the right way to do it, but we do Mexican before Little League. Now, he's got an hour and a half to digest before all of that, before the game starts. So it all works out. And they had Champions League on in the restaurant, of course, because so many of the Mexican restaurants will have on professional soccer. So I don't think I saw Dortmund yesterday. I don't remember the one that was up on the television. But what happened in that yesterday? Because I know that's really was the top of your list.
The Yellow Brick Road, Wizard of Oz, right?
I know that one, and I know the one that Elton John sang about.
There we go. It was the Yellow Brick Wall, the defense. There's the Purple People Eaters, the Steel Curtain, but it's the Yellow Brick Wall.
No name defense.
It's what you call Dortmund. They're black and yellow. Wiz Khalifa all day, and they couldn't. But Phil. PSG hit the woodwork 4 times in about a 30-minute. I mean,
okay, all right, hold on. Anna. What kind of terminology is this? What is hitting the woodwork?
The fair pole. It'd be like hitting but then it doesn't go in obviously because it's bouncing back off. But they had some chances. Dortmund's you got to look at it like this too. So Dortmund's a buy low, they buy young players, and then they sell them high. They had Jude Bellingham, who's a top 5 player in the world.
Know how to make money off
plays
of their,
at Real
off
Madrid.
Their personnel.
They had Edward Holling, who was there as well. That they sold to Man City a couple years ago. That's Terrell Owens that you're selling, and Anthony Edwards. If you want to say Jude Bellingham, I mean you're selling the best of the best, and they're still going to the Champions League final. It really is kind of. It'd be like Arkansas making it. I mean they're never considered an LSU or an Alabama. They're just that next group underneath. I mean, they're not even the best team in their domestic league. Not even close. But they got pride. They play hard. They play with passion. Kind of like an Atletico Madrid. If you think about them in La Liga, real defensive. Gonna be grimy. It was a fun game. Now today, this is the big one. Bayern Munich and Real Madrid. All the fireworks. It's gonna be fun.
All right, so I know what you're doing at 2:00.
2:00.
Yeah,
Jude Bellingham.
He'll be ready for it. No, JT, he did not mean the foul pole. He meant the fair pole. He knows the correct terminology, at least in my mind. Woodwork. We're gonna have to figure out a way to get that into a college baseball game. It's gonna be a little difficult. We don't have a lot of wood in college.
Well, it's
baseball.
like the goalpost. It's not wood either, but it's the the goal. It'd be the same. The goalpost. Yeah.
Ping. Supposed to make a sound, right?
Pickford, he's the England goalkeeper, and there was a game. He plays at Everton. He's garbage. He's got to be their number one. And the ball goes off the woodwork, and he hits it, and then hits it down again. All he has to do is let it go, and then it fell to Divock Origi. He's a Belgium, and he puts it in, and Liverpool was able to get to. This is like 2 years ago, but they called it a double doink. Is what
double doink?
Yeah, because it hit the thing twice. So that was.
Double doink kind of feels like butt fumble to me.
Yeah, a little Sanchez. Bit. Mark, there you go. Pickford would be Mark Sanchez. Exactly. You're like, wow. I don't know how we just won, but we did. And then he'll do something, and you're like, bro, you really got to chill out. You have to chill out.
We might need to draft a new quarterback.
Again, England needs a new number one goalkeeper. That's for sure.
Halftime's going to be a good time today. Clay Henry joins us in 45 minutes from up by the Norfolk. Just a moment away, we have Grant Hall joining us on the McLarty Daniel Hotline and your time for calls and texts. Lots to get to today, so let's take a break. Back with Grant Hall in just a moment.
The Cal era is here. Championship Under Construction is brought to you by Limbird Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your real estate needs, go to LimbirdTeam.com. Limbird Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your real estate needs, go to LimbirdTeam.com.
I love baseball season. It's the best time of the year. Every Friday, we get to talk shop with one of my favorite former pitchers, James Teague.
12:15 on Friday is my favorite time of the week. I love joining you guys on halftime to talk about the baseball team and Teague Law Firm. You know what we always say, if we can't help you, we'll talk baseball.
Don't miss James Teague with the Teague Law Firm every Friday right here at 12:15 on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
The 1-2. He struck him out swinging.
Pay attention, this happens fast. You're on the forklift in your warehouse when it breaks down. You call Medley Equipment Company. Talk to Debbie.
Hello.
Debbie tells you they'll get you moving again. Debbie talks to a service tech.
Yep, I can do it.
Tech says when they can be there. That nice Debbie lady calls you back.
Hello.
Saying your forklift will be fixed in a few hours.
Nice.
Pretty fast, right? We're just trying to keep up because Medley keeps you moving.
I'm branch manager Dennis Mabry. Visit medleycompany.com or see us at 4001 Harper Avenue, Fort Smith, Arkansas.
Are you tired of the overcrowded fitness centers? Would you like a fitness option where you can actually work out? Then let's hang out. The Hangout is Fort Smith's newest fitness facility. It has an 8,000 square foot gym, indoor tennis, pickleball, and basketball with more sports coming soon. The Hangout offers group and individual training in the gym and boasts 3 active tennis pros to help you grow your game. Stop in today at 5400 Gary Street or thehangoutfs.com for more information. Be a part of something different. Fitness, sports, and more. Let's hang out.
Who can you trust to sell your home for the most money with the least amount of drama? You need a team of agents with decades of experience, commitment, and of course, tens of thousands in marketing. You need the Limbird team, home of Arkansas's only instant offer program. Get a cash offer on your home in only 72 hours. Limbird Real Estate Group is the #1 team in Arkansas with over $1 billion sold and voted best of the best 10 years in a row, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and now the River Valley. Find out more at LimbirdTeam.com. LIMBIRD.
Brothers Roofing and Restoration, a licensed and insured local roofing contractor in Arkansas. Since his playing days for the Hogs, Brother Alexander has been on rooftops, many years as an adjuster, and in the past decade as a roofing contractor. He knows how to help you through the insurance process while replacing your roof using only the industry's best materials. And being a lifelong Arkansan, he'll be here to stand behind his workmanship and warranty. Call 479-353-3877 to arrange a time for Brother and his team to inspect your roof.
Hey, I'm Arkansas pitcher Hagen Smith. Unlock huge savings as a Pascal Plan protection member for just $8.99 a month. Enjoy annual AC tune-ups, priority scheduling, and discounts on repairs. Plus, these benefits extend to your plumbing and electrical needs, too. Sign up now and get up to $350 in instant savings on a water heater, electric panel, or new AC system. With their friendly budget payment plans, you'll never overpay for your home services. Don't wait. Visit GoPascal.com today to schedule your service or to start your membership.
The tailgating scene on a perfect fall day in the natural state. Calling the Hogs with 75,000 plus as the Razorbacks run through the egg. And all the things you love about football game days are near. Football season tickets are now on sale for marquee matchups against Tennessee, LSU, Ole Miss, and longtime rival and new SEC foe, Texas.
Slant, caught, touchdown, Arkansas.
Experience game day on the Hill and secure your seat and tailgating space by visiting ArkansasRazorbacks.com or by calling the Hogs at 800-982-HOGS.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. From general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Davis, and Farmer give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Now offering same-day crowns. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
When it came to pass, glory passed me by. With a single blow, his custard pie me now. I had my chance. I had those wild shots for you. And my nights. Will not move right.
Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel Hotline, 877-377-6963. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
All guests join us on the McClarty Daniel Hotline. It's where we got Grant Hall with us each Wednesday, usually about this time. Morning, Grant. How you doing today?
Well, I'm doing well. I'm a little bit sad because a good friend died this week. You may have seen that Hootie Ingram, at 90 years old, passed away. He was a guy who was an assistant coach at Arkansas from 67 through 69. He later became athletic director at Florida State and Alabama. He lived in Birmingham when he died. He was an SEC associate commissioner for a while, but he was also in First Baptist Church when my dad was pastor here. And I mean, he was there every time the door opened. And I remember him telling me, I didn't know until I read the obituary that he had a record of 10 interceptions in one season as a sophomore at Alabama in 1952 that still stands. And he coached defensive backs at Arkansas. And I remember him telling us at a gathering up at our house one time on Mount Sequoia that, Georgia had just gone into computers and they had all these things. They had tendencies of their team and the other team. And of course, everyone else was soon to follow that. But he said, no matter what you do, you can have all the computer printouts, but he said every team settles into tendencies. And Matt, you would, appreciate that. I mean, yeah, the other team may know what's coming, but you got to do what you have confidence in, and that's what teams do. But he was just a great guy, and he had a son. His name was Cecil Ingram, and his son Cecil was about 6'6" and was a very good golfer. And I got to see Hootie a couple of times at bowl games through the years. And we had a coach that said he should have been the coach at Rice, so they could have been the Hootie Owls, But, what really made me sad was so I started thinking about who can I call yesterday. And, of course, Frank Broyles has passed away, and people like Dean Weber, who was here later, but he would have known of Hootie, and he's passed away. And then I thought of Chuck Dicus. I should have called him. And there's a guy named Gus Rusher that we play golf with sometimes at Paradise Valley, who was on that 69 team. Listen to the other guys that Hootie coached with. John Barnhill was the AD. Frank was the head coach. Charlie Coffey, Mervyn Johnson, Johnny Majors, Wilson Matthews were on that first staff. And then in 68, Frank brought in Don Bro and Harold Horton and Richard Williamson. And that's when they brought it. They had Bill Montgomery and Chuck Dicus, and they had guys that could complete 3rd and 20, that they never really had before. And of course, those guys were all on the staff in '69 when Arkansas came within one play or came within a coach's decision, however you want to say it, of having a great chance to win the national championship against Texas.
Yeah. So Hootie Ingram would be one of the, almost countless people why we have an award that's based in Little Rock that's called the Royals Award. Of course, David Basil had to put the thing together and get it cleared by the College Football Awards and accepted, and it's become, it's become the accepted award for the top assistant coach in college football, and Hootie Ingram would be one of the. If you're an athletic director at those two schools you'd mentioned, and he worked for Frank, it's a pretty lasting impact. And And
Yeah.
that was one I hadn't heard of. And I know about all of the, not all. I guess I thought I knew about most of the branches on his coaching tree, but here's another one.
Well, he was a head coach at Clemson for 3 years before, Clemson became the, Danny Ford, I think, won a national title when he was 30 or 31 years old there or something. And we know what they've done since then. And of course, Ken Hatfield coached there for a while, but Hootie did that. And I always thought that he would have been a really good coach at Arkansas because of his personality and ability to recruit. But he got into administration, and he was so good at that's what he did most of his career.
Hey, Grant, I saw that women's golf was on top after 2 rounds. Third round in Vegas is today. But, I mean, it looks like everybody should have teed off by now. Do you know what's happened?
I think they've been starting at 10 a.m. around in there, and I figured out they've got a 19-shot clearance over 6th place. You got to finish in the top 5, So I think they're fairly safe, especially if they keep playing the way they did in the first 2 rounds when they were 8 under par each round in Las Vegas. So they're doing great. Mystery had a great first round, and I'm trying to think. Todd, I believe, shot 66 yesterday, and of course Marine is always good and steady. So that's. I'm sure they'd like to go ahead and win the thing as a bonus and give them confidence going into nationals. I think Purdue is within 4 shots of them going into today.
Hey, Grant, stay with some basketball. Devo going to Oklahoma State, Khalif Battle going to Zaga, and Blocker going to DePaul. Out of those 3, do you think all 3 of those guys have success? Which one of those 3 guys do you think went to the best spot for them to have success?
Well, I think probably Battle, just because he'll be in a system that knows offense really well. I mean, I told somebody the other day he might average 25 points for those guys. You never know how it's going to play out, but that should be a good situation for him. And then Devo, I think, could do well at Oklahoma State. I guess we forget that originally he was going to go there, and then Arkansas pulled him away in the recruiting from Oklahoma State. And they haven't been very good lately, but he'll go into a situation where I would think he could go in there and start and have a pretty good year. And, of course, Blocker, a lot of people would like to have seen him stay here, had a lot of potential, but he's younger. But I would say probably Battle. It'd be really interesting to see how he and Mark Few mesh, how they gel together, and if that's going to be a good fit for him.
Yeah, you got to play defense for Few as well. That's the other
right.
thing. But I'm with you. I think Battle he'll be a top 5 just most athletic guard in that conference, in that league. And then I think with Blocker kind of going a step down to DePaul, man, I think Blocker's really going to shine as well.
Yeah, he should. And since we're on basketball, Matt, you'll be proud. I've been watching a lot of NBA ball.
There we go.
In the playoffs, and I tell you, I'm just going to flatly predict that Minnesota is going to win the whole thing.
I like it, man.
Probably it's a long shot, but I mean what they did to Denver in the first 2 games, and I saw where Mike Conley was named Teammate of the Year. He's like a coach on the floor, and in his 17th year, he's coltish, man. I mean he's doing it for them, and he's not the only one. I mean, how about Edwards?
Mm-hmm.
You talked about him last week, I think, and there's a guy that could kind of help carry a team. So I know there's a lot of Boston's playing well, and the obvious ones that are playing. But what they've done to Denver is pretty startling, I would say.
Minnesota looks young, fresh, ready to go. Denver looks old and tired those first 2 games, Grant. It was and to your point, Minnesota has the number 1 ranked defense in the NBA this year. So that's defense wins championships.
Yeah, and they're physical too. I mean, I remember Barkley talking about that last week. But I think he kind of saw this coming maybe too. I think the series isn't over.
C-Unit,
obviously.
C-Unit picked the T-Wolves as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Grant, I saw a pretty gruesome injury yesterday for Cardinals catcher Wilson Contreras. J.D. Martinez hit him with the bat inadvertently. It was a catcher's interference, and they were showing that the Cardinals have wanted to, because framing is supposed to be a big deal now and has been for really, I mean, it's been a big deal for a long time, but now, coaches feel that you can sort of quantify how many strikes a catcher can steal for you. So they've got him closer up to the plate. and you think about how the change in how catchers even operate now, the knee down on the ground, even with men on base, tough to block. It's all about trying to frame pitches around the strike zone until somebody breaks their forearm and is out for like 2 months.
Yeah, I think baseball needs to address this a little bit, Phil, because there have been 33 of these already this year. I think there were 90 altogether last year. And it's not just framing. It's trying to get up there on pitches before they get lower as they cross the plate, and maybe the umpire can't see it the way they'd like him to see it. And that's exactly what happened last night. And the hitter was known for kind of waiting late, hitting the right field. And so it didn't happen on. There've been a lot of them that have been on the backswing. You know, I've seen some of those this year too.
Heck, we had it was Vaheva Aloy hit. I think it was the Florida catcher in the wrist with a
That's
backswing
right.
too. I mean, it's happening in college baseball too.
Yeah, and I had seen it in some Cardinal games. I don't know what they can do. I mean, I don't know how you, but Ollie Marmol last night was talking about that, and it's specifically what we're saying, how it happened, and you'd like to see catchers protected because he was having a pretty good year for the Cardinals too.
Hey, last thing, and it's like a combination of baseball and football thrown in here with the new commit for Arkansas football, the wide receiver, 28-year-old Monty Harrison.
Yeah.
Man, I got to say, there are naysayers that I've seen. There's going to be naysayers about everything, but they're like, oh, look at how desperate Arkansas football is. Man, Tennessee was in on this guy. Nebraska was in on this guy. And if you can rob a home run in AAA at the fence, if you can steal 80, if you're successful on 84% of your stolen bases in pro baseball, that tells me you know how to use your speed. And he's got size, man, and he's older. I mean, I don't know. He hasn't played football in a long time, but it just seems to me with this kind of athlete, maybe he could make an impact.
Yeah, and Matt, you've talked about this too, about how you have to have a number of guys with that kind of blazing speed anymore. Arkansas hasn't had it recently in numbers. They have Satania and a few others, but maybe he can make a difference that way. He's played a little bit of Major League Baseball, and had good numbers, I guess, when he played football. It's been a long time, but that's going to be one of those things. If he succeeds, it'll be a unique story. It'll get a lot of play around the country, I think.
Well, and that's why I tell kids to play all the sports, Grant, because tracking. If you're playing center field if you're playing any position in the outfield and you're tracking a fly ball, that's not much difference than tracking a post or a deep, as far as like a deep throw in football. It's the same type of concept.
It's just the outfield fence is the cornerback.
Well, yeah, somebody's going to hit you, or you're going to run, but it's having awareness, and it's just part of the process. Eye-hand coordination. And I love the fact that he's at least a 4-5 guy. I mean, you got to have more 4-5 guys up there.
Yeah, and quickly, Phil, I even think Holt's done a good job of playing all over the place, but I would like to see Wilmsmeyer back in there in center field. Someone told me the other day that Arkansas was 15-4, I think, whatever the numbers amount, and then there were 2-4 in the conference without him starting.
Yeah.
And I know he hasn't been hitting lately, but he's got a good batting eye, and they got bitten defensively a little bit last weekend. So maybe you'll see him back in there in this series. We'll see.
Some things to get into in just a moment, too. Grant, we'll leave it there. Appreciate your time, man. See you at Baum this weekend, okay?
Okay, see you.
Thanks, Grant.
Grant Hall with us each Wednesday here on Halftime. You want to react? McLarty Daniel hotline's open for you right now, 877-377-6963. Back with more Halftime in just a couple minutes.
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line Now.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Join us and celebrate celebrating Burton Pools and Spa's 46th anniversary. Get incredible deals on in-ground pools with savings up to $12,000 and construction starting in May. Snag up to $1,200 off Doughboy above-ground pools and $5,000 off Doughboy semi in-ground pools. And hot tubs start at an unbelievable price of just $39.99. Celebrate with us and pocket huge savings at Burton Pools and Spas in Springdale and Fort Smith. At Burton, we do more than build pools. We build long-term relationships.
Are you tired of processed meat and flimsy sandwiches? Subchain's gotten to your last nerve? Then I have the place for you. Come see my buddy Josefa at Lily's Sandwich Shop in the Bakery District in downtown Fort Smith. Locally sourced meat sliced daily and fresh breads from Harvest Moon Bakery. Daily specials announced on Facebook, including the Poke Bowl every Friday and Saturday. For to-go orders, call 479-567-3403.
My name is Lily. My papa makes the best sandwiches at Lily's Sandwich Shop. Come by and see him at the Bakery District today.
Summertime in Arkansas means pond and creek fishing, and nothing catches bass and bluegill in a pond like a Rebel Crick Hopper. You can twitch it, pop it, walk it, and swim it. It's the ultralight fishing lure that looks and acts like a real grasshopper. The Crick Hopper works great in tandem with light spinning rods and reels with 4 or 6 pound fishing line. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle shops everywhere. The Rebel Crick Hopper.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center with exciting news about our first ever trade-in acquisition event. We need your trade, so now through Memorial Day, get your state sales tax paid when you trade for any one of our road-ready certified vehicles. That's right, state sales tax paid when you trade. Another reason all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
With over $30,000 in cash and prizes, don't miss the 34th annual Judge Greg Ray Memorial Tri-Lakes Big Bass Festival, sponsored by the Sevier County Chamber of Commerce, Saturday, May 25th, Memorial Day weekend. Head to Gillum, DeQueen, or Dirks Lake and set your sights and your hook on the special $10,000 Reel the Weight prize on each lake if your winning numbers match up. Go online, Sevier County Chamber of Commerce.org for an entry form. This ad paid for with state and regional funds.
Can you explain the infield fly rule? Neither can I, but I can help you navigate a variety of legal issues, from divorce to personal injury to estate planning. I'm Jackie Mock with Mock Legal Solutions, a new law firm offering affordable flat fees with payment plans available. You get an ace at the price of a minor leaguer. Now that sounds like a grand slam to me. Call Mock Legal Solutions for your free consultation, 479-769-1505. Real advice, reasonable price.
Dozy Place has now been serving award-winning steaks for over 20 years. Celebrate your special birthday, holiday, person, or just because at Dozy Place. Start with delicious appetizers and your choice of drinks from the largest selection of wines, beer, and liquor in the River Valley. Dozy Place is open Tuesday through Thursday 5 till 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended, so call 784-9111. 784-9111 for Dozy Place, 422 North 3rd Street, Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Birds will cry, I let them cry. Boys from the edge. Bird in birds would fall to the blind. You'd say that I'm in the mountain lies of cars make it turn and bird.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel Hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
All right, we had a caller come through during the commercial break, so let's head right to the McClarty Daniel Hotline. Again, it's open for the entire segment here, 877-377-6963. Baker is here in Fayetteville. Baker, thanks for calling. What's up today?
Yes, thanks for taking my call. I had a question.
since the NIL era is in effect, and this guy like this played Major League Baseball that's coming out to play college football, does the NIL affect the amateur status of these athletes? Is there no amateur status any longer that's affected because of the NIL if you play Major League?
I don't know if you're viewing it the status of amateur professional, if that is even something we worry about right now, truthfully. I think the only thing is there's still not supposed to be a pay for play. You know, it's a wink, wink, nod, nod that this NIL stuff, which is supposed to be for promoting products or thing, you know, something like that, is we have a sense of what it is in a lot of cases. So I don't know. We maybe need to create some other kind of a term that's like a mishmash of professional and amateur, because whatever we're doing in college sports doesn't really feel like it's amateur anymore.
Yeah, well, I agree. I guess it's just the whole landscape has changed, because it seems to me like if you years ago, if you played any kind of pro ball and got paid for your services, you could no longer play college.
Well, there's this has always been written in, or at least as far as I know, for a long time. You still maintain amateur status in a different sport. So he wouldn't be able to play college baseball, but he could play college basketball. He could play college football. Some of the other guys that we'd brought up that had done this before, I guess the most famous is Chris Winkie, who had a professional baseball career and then went to college and was a Heisman Trophy winner. What was the age? Was he 26
when he won the Heisman? Yes, sir.
So, this has happened before. So you get to keep if you want to use the term amateur status, I guess would just say eligibility for college sports. You know, he didn't play college baseball.
He didn't enroll in. It's all about when you enroll in school. That's
Right.
what starts the clock.
But it's also what did you do professionally? That's where the weight is carried.
So the fact that he didn't play pro football means he can play college football.
Correct.
J.R.
exactly
Smith did
right.
it.
Okay.
I need to find out. Yeah, thanks for the call. I'll have to look that up, Phil. But J.R. Smith went straight out of high school, played in the NBA. I mean, he was a really good above average shooting guard. I mean, high flyer early, could shoot late. I mean, could kind of do it all. Then once he retires, he went and played golf and I think this was before the NIL.
I think it was at UNLV, and I think it was just a few years ago.
But how cool, right?
Yeah.
Like that's how cool.
Well, and it doesn't count against their scholarships. He's a walk-on because I guess it's the Brewers that have to pay that are paying for his school. So I don't really view this as somebody that's, I mean, I know he's a walk-on, but I kind of view it as, look, this guy played Major League Baseball. He played center field. He was a base stealer.
And he wants
an
to
athlete.
And he wants to play. He's still that's the thing that I like. He's 28. He's probably made enough money that being at that level that and it's a grind, man. You go through two-a-days. Nobody wants to go through two-a-days, so he's going to get to go back through the grind and go through camp.
But see, I don't know what position Chris Winkie played. Jake Locker, if I remember, was an outfielder. But I feel like you can draw a line from what Monty Harrison did as a baseball player to what it is he's going to do as a wide receiver at Arkansas. These two sports don't always translate, but I think the speed does. And for me, it feels like this is somebody that there's speed and there's the knowledge of how to use it. These are two different things. Didn't it feel like what was Malik Hornsby, who's now going to be a wide receiver at Arkansas State? He had the speed. He wasn't really quite sure what to do with it.
He's going to be a receiver. Yeah. And that's the thing. There's a straight line speed and there's a shift. There's a change of pace. You gotta have the defense has to think, man, this cat can run right by me. And then you have to be able to burst and adjust. There's an art to running routes. It's not just about the fastest guy is going to get open. You kind of got to have a little shift in your bones.
But what do you have to do as a center fielder or as a base stealer? You've got to have a great first step.
Absolutely.
Without that first step, you don't steal the base. Like you got to be fast. But look, Don Baylor stole 50 bases one year. It wasn't based on speed. It's based on good instincts, great first step. And there's some guesswork that goes into it too, and there might be some bad throws that go into it as well. But for the most part, that first step, the crossover step that the base stealer makes, That's huge. It's the same as a center fielder. And for me, that tells me that I think he's got to have instincts of what to do with that speed. Like if I were to draw, is this fair to make this kind of comparison, Matt? A guy that's leading off first base and trying to steal a base. That's almost like getting off the line of scrimmage as a wide receiver. Now, nobody's trying to jam you as a base stealer, but you got to have that quick first step. Now, you're not necessarily like, trying to escape somebody, but you got to get a good head start there.
No, and you're right. And if you're in the slot, Phil, because this is my mind. I see him playing in the slot, being an older guy, that's exact. It's a lateral move a little bit at first, so it's kind of the same thing. But 100%, it's when that ball snapped, you got to go. You got to go. That's just it.
I know we got in yesterday about the idea of somebody that has been around professional locker rooms and clubhouses and major league clubhouses for a long time. So there's got to say something about how he went about his business or goes about his business. And so there's a leadership aspect of this just because he's older. But then what about the idea of what he can already do physically? Are you an old man at age 28? No, you're actually right there in your prime. It's not like you're showing up as a freshman and you're just going to have to get integrated into college life and put on weight and get faster here and there. No, right now he is what he is as an athlete, which means if he's showing up and they're giving him a roster spot and don't have to pay his schooling, I feel like this is somebody that may actually show up and make an impact pretty quickly.
Well, he'd be my first pick for intramural softball team as well. So that's he can't play intramural flag football now that he's playing the sport. So now that we got this straight, he can play basketball, he can play intramural softball, but he can't play intramural football. So he'd be my first pick.
I'll bet you he could do a killer first pitch at a baseball game at Baum from center field too. That'd be kind of interesting. 877-377-6963 for calls and texts on the McClarty Daniel hotline. Hey, get over to Fish City Grill this month. Great seafood specials, beer-battered cod tacos that comes with slaw, chili tartar, pickled jalapenos, cilantro, and sweet potato fries. How about the redfish double Oscar? Oh, I could go with something that's always got the Oscar on it. Lump crab meat, grilled Gulf shrimp, hollandaise, broccoli, rice casseroles, char-grilled asparagus, and it's crawfish season for at least another month. It's the best in Northwest Arkansas. And get out to Fish City Grill to enjoy patio weather. Full service and a cover outside at Fish City Grill, South Bellevue Road, Rogers. You can call for pickup or delivery, 479-636-8833, or online at fishcitygrill.com. Back to wrap up the first hour in just a moment.
This is halftime.
You will never find a boring old burger at Art's Barbecue and Burgers in Fort Smith. Try the Wild West Burger, topped with a hot link, jalapenos, and Art's hot sauce. The Brisket Burger, with tender brisket and caramelized onions on top of their hand-patted burger. Or the famous Art Attack, with house bacon, smoked ham, an onion ring, and a fried egg. There are 10 different burgers to choose from, and they're all $1 off every Saturday. Art's Barbecue Burgers and more. Rogers Avenue, next to Buddy's in Fort Smith.
Are you in a constant battle with mosquitoes outside your house? Well, stop smacking yourself in the face and call Mosquito Joe. Whether it's playing ball with the kids or cooking out with friends, Mosquito Joe treatments allow you to enjoy your yard without the nuisance of pesky mosquitoes, ticks, and fleas. No more itching and no more wasting time on smelly bug sprays that don't work. Visit arkansas.mosquitojoe.com or call 479-202-9960 to get more information and a free quote. With Mosquito Joe, outside is fun again.
The tires on your vehicle go round and round, but when they don't, go to Van Alma Tire. They have tires in their name. That's their specialty. Van Alma Tire is all about tires. They have all the name brands and private labels available for you and in stock. So when it comes to getting tires for your ride, it's worth the drive. And financing is available. Ask for details. Whatever your tire need, check out Van Alma Tires on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma. Ready to get you rolling on new tires at Van Alma Tire.
The Party Place has everything you need for special occasions. Graduation, Cinco de Mayo, Memorial Day, a luau, you name it.
Pre-order your balloons now for the month of May.
Mother's Day, baby showers, party supplies for 1 to 100.
Locations in Conway and Fort Smith.
The Party Place in the Tuesday Morning Building behind Ashley Furniture in Fort Smith.
Get ready for your party at the Party Place.
Attention homeowners, storms are firing up quickly and widespread damage means thousands are reaching out for the right roofing company. Don't wait. Get on the schedule with Shamrock Roofing and Construction now for quality and peace of mind. One call does it all. Shamrock Roofing and Construction, call 479-319-5100. Need a new roof? Shamrock Roofing and Construction can have you covered right now for as low as $139.99 with approved credit. For quality and peace of mind, one call does it all. Shamrock Roofing and Construction, call 479-319-5100.
What's on your to-do list today? Does it include looking for a new piece of heavy equipment? If so, come by and see us at Sharp Equipment today and explore our latest offers and deals as a Wacker Newson dealer. Whatever your day brings, whatever job it is you need to complete, Wacker Newson Equipment is up to the task, and Sharp Equipment is here to help. Stop in Central Hydraulics and see us at Sharp Equipment, located at 6104 Highway 271 South in Fort Smith, or give us a call at 479-242-1406.
At Dobson Fiber, we're helping you build stronger connections by bringing the fastest internet network available to your business. Why fiber? Fiber internet provides reliable, symmetrical, blazing speeds. Without any interruptions or buffering, you can rely on Dobson for all your data needs. With Dobson Fiber as your premium internet provider, you can focus on the things that matter and the connections you build. To see if fiber is available to you, visit Dobson.net. Dobson Fiber, building stronger connections.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry. Stay in the slow lane, buddy. That's when I use the Sodies app to order my favorites and pick up in their drive-thru. They even offer a 10% discount on your first app order. Experience different at Sodies Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Every day is worth celebrating at Uncorked. Cocktails, wine, craft beer, bourbons, and unbelievably great food. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodies.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Purple hat, cheetah print, dancing on the people, rolled up at the after joint, dancing on the people dancing on the people. I got people on the people dancing on the people with the people on the people, smoking CO2. See me, see you dancing on the people. Climb up on the booth, hanging from the people on the people. My head hits the roof, dancing on the ceiling on the people. I got people on the people, dancing on the people. I got purple hat, cheetah print, dancing on the people, rolled up at the after joint, dancing on the people dancing on the people. I got people on the people dancing on the people with the people on the people, smoking CO2. See me, see you dancing on the people. Climb up on the booth, hanging from the people on the people. My head hits the roof, dancing on the ceiling on the people. I got people on the dancing on the people.
Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
Let's go to the McLarty Daniel hotline as we wrap up hour number one with a phone call from, is this really? It's Otis Kirk from Hogville, world-renowned recruiting analyst and sports writer. Otis, how you doing, man? What's up?
Hey, guys. How y'all doing? Hey, I just heard the last caller, and Matt's right. I mean, this is not anything. I've had people on my timeline on social media thinking this Harrison deal's new, but this is nothing new. It has nothing to do with NIL. Robbie Hampton, who played quarterback before Matt at U of A, he played professional baseball, then came back later and played for the Razorbacks. And Devon McClure played professional baseball, then came back and played for the Razorbacks. I think McClure played linebacker, if I'm not mistaken. I think he may have started out as a safety or something, but he moved to linebacker. I may be wrong on that, but Devon McClure played professional baseball and came back. So this is nothing new. This is a deal where you get a kid who signed and it's written into the Major League Baseball. Phil knows more about this than I do about the Major League Baseball contract, but it pays for his education if baseball doesn't work out. So that's what this is. So, but it's not anything new. It has nothing to do with NIL.
You know, Otis, you or me or Matt, we can call him a kid because he's 28. That all works for us. But he's like, how many of the guys on the team are actually going to call him grandpa or pops or uncle or something like that?
Yeah, I know. They'll do that too. Joe Moore, who signed with Arkansas out of Syracuse, played 1 year at Syracuse, came from Richmond. I think he's getting ready to start like his 6th year of college football. So he's got to be. He's not 28, but he's got to be. He's got to be getting up there, man. But yeah. But I just wanted to. I just listened to you guys going down the road, and I'm just thinking this is not everybody. And like I said, I've got people last night on social media acting like this was completely strange new deal, and it's not. I mean, Matt's right. I think it was Matt said that if you can't play college. He couldn't play college baseball, obviously, for Dave, but he can play football. He can play basketball, whatever he wanted to play. If there's a spot for him, and baseball pays for it. So
we just
maybe great pickup for them.
Can we just get him a couple of at bats this weekend, though? I mean, just like put him in someone's uniform. Just get him a couple of at bats. I'm sure he could probably just show up and hit for the moment.
Didn't the Gunslinger do that at UAPB? I believe. I don't want to get you guys sued, man, but I think Gunslinger did that. He had he had all kinds of football players on that team. So I guess Dave could put him in a different uniform, or in the uniform, and put a different name on him and put him up there, man. He might could tag one.
That's right.
Okay, well, that's all I had. I didn't.
No, Otis, good. It's good to hear from you, man. I appreciate you listening and appreciate you calling. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, guys.
I guess he can be like a roving halftime correspondent now, since he just kind of dialed in out of the blue. It's Otis Kirk from Hawkville. So now batting for the Razorbacks, and he won't look like anybody else on the team because at 28 you look different. Here is James Smith.
It's a good name, good, solid, strong name. No questions, no reason to ask questions about a name like that.
Absolutely not. Swinging a drive off the fair pole in left field. I can just picture it this weekend. We can dream, can't we? Clay Henry joins us for the next couple of hours on halftime, so we'll be right back.
Let's see. Leaky faucet Tuesday. Water flooding the yard. Better put that down for the middle of the month when the bills aren't due.
Honey, what are you doing?
Planning our plumbing problems, of course.
You can't plan our plumbing problems, but you should plan our plumber.
What do you mean?
Like all important contacts, I keep Westark Plumbing in my phone. They're always there when we need them, and they don't overcharge since they know we don't plan our plumbing problems. Here, honey, here's their number.
646-5151. Thanks, babe.
Westark Plumbing. We keep you flowing.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Patriot Transport wants to thank their drivers for their hard work and dedication. The local and over-the-road drivers are essential to the Patriot Transport mission. Day in and day out, Patriot Transport drivers are on the road striving for safety and success. To the behind-the-scenes dispatch and office employees, Patriot Transport thanks them as well for the hard work they put in day and night. If you want to be a part of the Patriot Transport family, visit patriottransport.com. Patriot Transport is located in Danville, Arkansas.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind you to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check on your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today to see if you qualify. The homestead tax credit can save you up to $425 off of your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by Sebastian County Assessor and paid for by Amendment 79. Barrels and Brews Bottle Shop at the Hub and Chaffee Crossing has everything you need for your favorite activities. Our knowledgeable staff will be glad to help you with the current specials and our new arrivals of must-have bourbons and whiskeys. Hit the cooler for some of the coldest beer in town or choose from our large selection of amazing wines. Order online or call ahead Monday through Saturday from 10 a.m. till 10 p.m. at the Hub in Chaffee Crossing. Barrels and Brews voted best of the best in Fort Smith. It will put a smile on your face.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, occasional showers and thunderstorms. Some could be strong to severe hail, gusty winds, and isolated tornadoes will be possible. Our high temperatures today will be right around 85 degrees. Showers and strong to severe thunderstorms still possible tonight, especially across the north, overnight low, right around 60. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by real estate agents Nick and Ellie Glidewell. Ready to serve. KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Crabtree RV Studios on ESPN 95.3. Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center Studios.
Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com. You gotta take it here. That's the perspective.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field. People said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head.
I have zero respect for saying no moss at halftime.
One Razorback.
Vintage Matt Jones.
Here we go. Right now, let's take the field.
Call or text on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Welcome back to halftime. It is hour number 2 on it's a sweaty day when you walk outside, man. You can feel the danger in the air for potential storms later tonight. Hope we're all going to sleep okay. I don't know, Matt. I feel like I might wake up tomorrow and might need to go back to sleep after getting the kids to school in the morning. So maybe I'll just kind of wake up at 10:30 and have a show and go.
Yeah, I had to do the salt water this morning. My throat's getting a little scratchy, so trying to, wake up, scratchy throat, kind of tough to go back to sleep. Yeah.
Absolutely. Let's welcome on our good friend and the former publisher and editor of Hogs Illustrated and current national senior columnist at hitthatline.com, Clay Henry, with us for the next couple of hours. Clay.
National. I went national today.
Yeah, that's absolute, man. It's worldwide, truthfully. I probably cut you off from the rest of the continents and the oceans because hitthatline.com is worldwide, man. They could read it on the International Space Station.
12 languages.
Mm-hmm. So that's well, I mean, we're leaving out a lot of languages. We should probably just try to get it translated into everything.
I'm fluent in Latin.
You are?
Et tu, Brute? That's
the only Latin I know. Well, I know a couple of other terms in Latin.
There's some Latin that slips in every once in a while. I took a year of Latin, the most miserable year of my life.
Yeah, good thing for me. I never had to. Now, let's say I learned a little Hebrew as a kid in Hebrew school. Getting ready for the bar mitzvah, and even after that, I've forgotten most of it. Though, if I ever do go to a service at synagogue, I can sort of piece together some of the words. Have no idea what they mean, but I can sort of speak a little bit or read a little bit of incredibly broken Hebrew. But that's about it. That and maybe a couple of Spanish words that I learned just walking in and out of travelers clubhouses over the years.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad to be here today.
It was good to have you, man. Good to have you. Got a couple callers on hold, but I wanted to just before we go to them, just you did a really nice column about Chris Mortensen and the funeral at Cross Church. That was Monday, right?
It was, yes.
Yeah. Kevin Trainer had told me he was in Kentucky with us.
I saw Kevin. That
night.
And
he was standing there in the booth with me for the 3 games, and he'd said that that's what he had going on the next day after the series finale, and no, I mean it's not a funeral; it was a celebration of life, and it made so much sense because it hit me when he told me that he's going to the Chris Mortensen service. I'm like, when? I mean, it's like it passed away. It had been over a month ago.
2 months.
2 months. See, I knew it had been a long time, but I mean, you're just taking into account what Mort did, professionally for all those years, and what a lot of his colleagues also had to focus on at the same time. They had to wait until the NFL draft was over, which really made a lot of sense.
And there's also the other part of it is that, son Alex is offensive coordinator at
spring ball,
Alabama Birmingham, UAB with Trent Dilfer, and he had spring ball and then recruiting, and this was better for his timeline too. And I think it, truthfully, they needed some time to kind of put it together, and Ronnie Floyd was masterful in his ability to, of course, he and Chris were really close. And he was Chris's pastor when they first moved here, and it's always been his spiritual leader, but the people at Cross Church did a wonderful job. The scene, Jordan Grizzard sang 2 songs, 2 classics, and it just I look around, here's all these A-listers, and we're all in tears. But it was a celebration, and I counted, I think, 17 ESPN, A-listers kind of people. When you think about Chris Berman and Adam Schefter, and just all through there were people that I didn't recognize, and I'm sure they were, off-camera types, producers, directors, vice presidents, and it was a fantastic service, as you might imagine that Chris Mortensen would have.
Well, I also think I should have a sense of it because I grew up as ESPN was growing into the behemoth that it's become now, but for folks who are younger, and you see people like Adrian Wojnarowski,
he was there,
or Ken Rosenthal. Just the ones who were the insiders of the insiders that also back in the day they would have just been writers, and Mort was a trailblazer. Like that's one of the reasons that he was revered, aside from being incredibly good at what he did and treating people with respect. He was a trailblazer, leaving print to go on camera at a time when there really weren't a lot of people that were doing it.
Yeah. I can't remember, both Adam Schefter and Chris Berman, Boomer, spoke, and I can't remember which one said, but Sal Paolantonio was there, and he was a print guy and got in, now he's the Eagles beat guy, right, for ESPN and does other things. But he says, Sal goes out in his backyard and looks at his swimming pool. He's like, thank you, Chris. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Chris. It's like that's true. I mean, that's he wouldn't have the life that he had if ESPN hadn't snapped him up, just like they did Chris Mortensen, and it worked. And Adam Schefter, same thing. I had forgotten until I watched the ESPN. Produced a magnificent video with all the stuff they had done, including their pre-draft coverage where they talked about Mort. That he was one of the first one hired by Frank DeFord at the National, and I just forgot that even existed.
Oh, I remember when that came out. That was the early '90s, and I remember thinking to myself, because USA Today did Baseball Weekly, which was national. You had your Sports Illustrated and everything, but I was so excited about the idea of what the National was going to be, and now it's like, well, that's a really quaint idea when you think about it. With everything we have going now, it was just ahead of its time, and for Mort to be one of the first on staff, I mean,
he's a great writer.
Yeah,
and I got lucky, and this was I was walking to practice one day. Alex is on the Razorback team, backup quarterback, on scholarship. And I was walking through the Razorback Stadium on the way to the practice field, south of the stadium. It's where the football offices are now, but that was the practice field. And I hear a voice, and it's Coach Broyles, and he's behind me walking with Mort. And they're like, watch practice with us. So I'm going to practice. I said, no, we don't watch from out there. They had 2 folding chairs on the second floor of the south end zone, building. And, you could look straight down up there through the glass, and it's, nobody could see you. So I watched for about 3 years. I watched practice most days during the middle of the week when Mort was in town with Frank Broyles and Chris Mortensen. I just pinched myself. I was like, am I here? And they're talking about the Cowboys, and they're talking, you can imagine what those 2 men were talking about, and just to be, fly on the wall, which I was. And then to be able to watch practice with them and understand what I was seeing, you just learned a lot of football. And those are the foundation of, what I had with Chris for many years. Just, I'd write a column. I didn't think it was any good, and I get a text from Chris, hey, I really like that, and I learned something. It's like, and we worked together on Coach Search, stories, whenever, because ESPN's working on them too. And he's right in the middle. And of note, Monday, sitting just to my side, and I'm sure Kevin Trainor saw him too, was Jimmy Sexton. So what Jimmy Sexton and Chris probably talked about all those coaching search and deals, and he's in the middle of that. He could call anybody. Can you imagine what his phone looks like? I mean, the contact list for Chris Mortensen?
Well, he would have had a Rolodex when that was really a thing, too.
He would, yeah. Yeah, but it was Monday was, I would say, they did it like he was a rock star, which in my mind, Chris Mortensen, he's a rock star.
Hey, let's take a couple of phone calls. We got them on hold here if you want to get on. The McLarty Daniel hotline remains open, 877-377-6963. Eddie is here. What's up, Eduardo? How are you?
Man, I am doing great. Anticipating this heavyweight matchup come Friday night at Baum Stadium. It's up to the players. I've said this many times. The moment's on to come Friday night. I want the players in this batting lineup to visualize the moment. But visualize the base runners, and you're going to knock them in. And so I want you to feed the Mississippi State Bulldogs a big dose of hitting mojo, because here we go down the stretch. And everybody, as I said the other day, has something to play for. And so Mississippi State is coming in here looking to feed you some hitting mojo. And rest assured they will. If you don't bring your mojo, play your best ball Friday night. It starts Friday night. And then some of you hitters, you swing at balls in the dirt. You chase balls out of the strike zone. You swing at balls over your head. And what perturbs me more is you just sit there and hold the bat and take strike three. What bases runners, loaded bases. I mean, that can't happen.
I hear the frustration, Eddie. Believe me, I'm watching it as much as you are as well. Clay, we'll have to hit on some of the hitting things later, but there is something that Eddie brought up there that I just feel like you might have to, so come prepared, be ready for Friday, right? I'm not worried about any game that Hagen Smith starts. Not one. Not one. Because truthfully, the last two starts he's made, he's allowed one run in each of them. They shouldn't have even scored. He's been that dominant. They'll win every game he pitches. They're 9-7 in SEC games that he doesn't pitch. It's a winning record, but it's not great. They're unbeatable with Hagen Smith just because they have won every game that he's pitched. It's games 2 and games 3. Not that worry me, but it's like, all right, now that you got to be focused, of course, Friday, but 2 runs will win you a game on Friday. Saturday and Sunday might not be the case.
I think you're right. I mean, it's he's pitched in. They've won 40 games that he's pitched in since he's come to Arkansas in 3 years. I don't think I've ever heard anything like that. I mean, it's incredible.
And is in different roles too.
Yeah, I mean, but they've won 40 games that he's pitched. I mean, they haven't won every game.
Yeah.
He pitched in a game in postseason against TCU. They didn't win. But it's you like your chances, I guess, is the understatement of the whole season. You like your chances with that guy on there. Your team is confident. They're on their toes, and that's with the other team pitching their best. Now, not everybody's pitching their best against him because it's let's save him for another day. Let's not waste any bullets when Hagen's out there. But I think that Mississippi State will be coming for him, and they're playing good ball, and it should be an entertaining game. I'm excited for these last 6 games and for postseason.
Absolutely. I mean, this is for, I wouldn't say all the marbles. It's for a small bag of marbles, to win a division, to try to win a regular season in the SEC, and then go from there.
Yeah, I've thought this for some time, and I watched them. I went down to Arlington and watched them Globe Life Field and watched them play in that setting in a big park. And I was like, this team is built in it, defense and pitching, that this team is built for, is it Charles Schwab Field? Is that what the name of the place in Omaha is?
They call it the Chuck. Yeah, the Chuck.
The Chuck. It's built for that park. The wind blowing in is what you get most of the time in Omaha. It's a cavern. In fact, I've thought all along that Ty Wheelsmeyer, he was brought here to play center field in that stadium. He can run down everything, and I have a feeling that they're going to try to get him going again and get hold to left field. But it's if you can get through the 2 regionals, your chances are as good as anybody's in Omaha because of your pitching and your defense.
We'll take more calls in just a moment when we got a break here, but also want to remind you about Things going on at WT Equipment right now. Strong savings on hay tools, compact and mid-range tractors, even large commercial-grade hay equipment. Buy now at WT Equipment. You'll save $5,000, $10,000, or more in cash back. You can get 0% financing for up to 48 months on hay tools, 60 months on mid-range tractors, and up to 72 months on compacts. That's at WT Equipment. Offers end June 30th. WTEquip.com, and check them out in Springdale. Stay tuned. Halftime back in just a moment.
The Cal era is here. Championship Under Construction is brought to you by Limbird Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McClarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McClarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McClarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sacalé, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all summer sports, from Major League Baseball, golf, to the NBA and NHL playoff stats. They've got all the latest stats, news, and scores available to follow your favorite teams. Get the latest odds and lines, including the latest team matchups, player props, and odds on just about every sport out there. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insights and analysis?
Hell yeah.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business, on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Madonna has gone from like a virgin to like a surgeon. You can try to nip and tuck from the curse of sin, but eventually death is going to win. God will do major surgery on this sin-filled world, and when he does, people will try and hide their faces from him. Even plastic Christians won't be exempt. Look up Isaiah chapter 2 and see how the spiritual world renders this an immaterial world. I'm Pastor A from Woodland. Read about it.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McCarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McCarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy
treat you like a stranger and strangers treat you like their best friend. Oh well. Spare a thought for the ones that came before. All in a day is bending backwards to reach your sometimes I feel fine. It's not all that bad. One day maybe never.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel Hotline, 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Headed right to the McClarty Daniel Hotline as we welcome in Charlie, who held through that last break and held through Eddie. Charlie, you've got the floor. What's going on?
What's up, guys? Hey, Phil, I was going to ask, you always talked about how you enjoyed all those really long bus rides back in the day when you were at the Travelers. Would you be cool with Eddie driving the bus? And also, do you think Eddie has a little road rage, or would you be good with riding with him is what I'm asking.
I just don't want I don't want Eddie on the roads after a Razorback loss. He probably needs, like there's a cool down period for athletes. What is it, 10 minutes after a game, 15 minutes after a game?
It is probably longer.
Yeah, he needs like a 48-hour cool down period to stay off the roads. I would not want Eddie as my bus driver because I think a bus driver for a baseball team needs to be the most even-keel person that's traveling with them. Like, can't let anything get to him.
Yeah, like Matt over there. Matt is like that. So
he's as even-keeled as it gets.
As even-keeled as it gets. So you were talking about the weather a little bit. Now, I do want to say this because I have a buddy that lives in Lake Hamilton. It was a really scary night, but he was not hit directly last night, thankfully. But it was a very scary night in the area. So I do want everybody to heed the Tuna's warnings here because you got to have something on your phone that alerts you because this could be like a nocturnal thing. Now, Matt, I know you sleep through tornadoes and nothing really scares you, so this doesn't really affect you, bro. I know nothing scares Matt Jones because I get it, but y'all understand what I'm saying. Everybody needs to be weather aware tonight and all those things. But
yeah, I feel like Matt, tonight I'm gonna have to. I always have my phone on silent. Like I don't do notifications. I feel like I need to put the phone on loud tonight because if it's going to happen between 10 and 2.
Is it statewide? It's supposed to be that bad?
Yeah, it's a statewide thing tonight.
It is, Matt. It's a statewide thing. The timings are different, but you may not see a drop. It's just, I always say be aware and be cautious, and you just never really know. Have a plan. But I was also going to say, because the Tuna is kind of crazy. He's obsessed with sports, but he likes the weather too, which is weird. So, anyway, C-Unit, I was going to mess with you a little bit, man. I'm a little bit worried about your Mavs, and I wanted to get Matt's opinion on this. Because when I watch the Thunder play, and I think they're the second youngest team in the league, they look like they have no fear, and they have really surprised me that they are playing so well. I mean, I think they're 5-0 so far. And, Matt, I wanted to get your opinion because – and I don't think that series is over by any means, but the depth of OKC and the depth of the Timberwolves, if they were to wind up matching up with each other, because I'm not like everybody else and be like, oh, Timberwolves got it. But how good of a matchup do you think that would be? Who would be the better matchup if the Timberwolves were to, I guess, pull it off? Anyways, I'll hang up and listen.
All right, thanks, Charlie.
Dude, the Mavs even got Dante Exum. He's a guy from Australia. He was like a first-round pick. he might have been number 1 overall, but he's just a role player now. I mean, Luka's going to have to play better. I don't know what he's doing. 1 of 8 from the 3-point line. There's not a lot of help. Gafford had a big game, 5 blocks, double into that. Kyrie right now he's such in a groove. Like that's just a very normal average game for him. You always feel like he can have 48 at any time. And then Jones Jr., that number 55, you want to talk about mad hops, Phil. He had one. He caught one off the rim, like coming off the screen, coming off the TV screen, comes up and catch. I mean, dude can absolutely fly. The announcer goes, "Yep, he can flip it into airplane mode quicker than anyone."
Is this a series, Matt, that that kind of just swings upon who's got home court advantage? So that's kind of how I view some NBA series, and I saw the Thunder and Nuggets finished in a tie for the same record atop the Western Conference. So a tiebreaker is obviously the reason why OKC gets home court. I mean, is this the kind of thing where you could see the home team winning each game?
No, I think Dallas is such a tricky team. I mean, this could be a series that's over in 5. I mean, the Thunder they look younger, they look healthier. These are things that, it's a war of attrition. Same thing with the T-Wolves and the Nuggets. I mean, you watch that one game, one team looks a little more springy. One team looks like they're flying around a little bit more. I do think you need superstars in the playoff to win, and so that's why Dallas is going to be okay as far as they're superstars. You keep it 6-point game, you keep it 1-possession game in the fourth quarter, you got Kyrie and Luka, and you're hoping that's why you pay them the money that they're able to take over. So, I mean, Dallas they'll have their chances.
I was kind of stunned watching the Timberwolves dismantle the Nuggets because
they made the Nuggets like it, Clay. Like the Nuggets were frustrated
in the first 3-4 minutes. I mean, I don't know who the guy was. He got it on the wing, and he just drove right through the guy's heart. And I was like, well, that's an offensive foul. But I didn't hear a whistle
that was Towns
in the
on
first
Murray.
4 minutes.
Yeah,
they didn't call anything in the first 4 minutes, and the game was over. I mean, they had, but the Timberwolves they look like they're in a different gear, a different intensity than what the Nuggets are. I don't know if the Nuggets can hit another gear, but now they're going back. They're going back home.
No, the Nuggets look tired. They look like they just won an NBA title last year. They look like the year before they were building to it. They just look like they're out of gas. I mean,
they don't have the depth that some of these other teams. They lost some players and replaced them with some real youthful players that they don't look like they want to put them in. But it's like, and we're just kind of letting Boston over here just kind of, nobody's talking about them, but I think it'll be Boston in Minnesota.
877-377-6963 if you want to get in on NBA or anything else with Matt Jones, with me, and with Clay Henry, and the C Unit as well, because you did just get called out a little bit there by Charlie, C Unit. Don't worry about that too much. Stay with us. We'll be back with more Halftime in just a moment.
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
It started as a dream, and here you are. It's moving day. But wait, isn't moving supposed to be stressful? Oh, that's right. You bought your home using Weichert Realtors. Your Weichert agent guided you from start to finish to help make sure we found you your perfect place. Dream, move, home, Weichert. Call your local Weichert Realtors office today and make your move. And look for our bright yellow signs. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
With Progressive, you get more than savings. You get access to us through our mobile app, online chat, or by phone.
Oh, I see what you're doing here, Jamie. Giving me all these ways to stay in touch so I have no excuse not to. Well, you're in luck, because this guy's in the market for a new BFF.
Actually, all our customers can contact us this way.
Oh, yeah, no, I was just kidding.
But I am always up for Taco Pizza!
Get help from Progressive through the website, app, chat, or phone. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
This is Halftime.
This is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind you to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check on your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today to see if you qualify. The homestead tax credit can save you up to $425 off of your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by Sebastian County Assessor and paid for by Amendment 79.
Walk-Ons is always a win. Whether it's a post-game celebration, drinks with the crew, or an easy weeknight dinner, Walk-Ons has you covered. Scratch-made dishes, wall-to-wall TVs, craft beers and cocktails. Dig into mouth-watering menu items like po' boys, gumbo, and voodoo shrimp, plus fan favorites like juicy burgers and fresh salads. Find your nearest location in Rogers, Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Conway, and coming soon to Little Rock, or order online or in the app. Walk-On Sports Bistro for the win.
Attention homeowners, storm season is here, and it's time to take action to protect your property. At H&H Tree Service, we've got you covered. Licensed and insured, our expert team specializes in removing dangerous trees and limbs, keeping you and your loved ones safe. Plus, count on us for thorough storm cleanup services. Our service area includes the entire River Valley and parts of Oklahoma. Don't wait until it's too late. Call H&H Tree Service at 479-227-9480. H&H Tree Service, your safety is our priority.
Happy birthday, dear Megan. Happy birthday to you.
Why did they have this party outside?
Who wants cake?
Mosquitoes are terrible. Let's get out of here. I'm getting eaten alive.
Mosquitoes sucking the life out of your party? Call Mosquito Joe for an effective, affordable solution for keeping your backyard bite and itch-free. Satisfaction guaranteed.
Visit arkansas.mosquitojoe.com for a free quote or call 479-202-9960.
Mom, everyone's sleeping. This bites.
MosquitoJoe.com. Outside is fun again.
Insurance company throwing you a curveball? Are they crowding the plate and not offering you a fair settlement? If you've been injured in a car wreck, you need an experienced attorney to fight for you. I'm Jackie Mock with Mock Legal Solutions. Licensed in Arkansas and Oklahoma, no win, no fee. Call Mock Legal Solutions today for your free consultation. 479-769-1505. Real advice, reasonable price.
Flu vaccines, both regular and high dose for seniors, are now available at Law's Drug Store in Fort Smith. Call 452-6116 to schedule your shot appointment. Usually there is no cost when covered by your insurance. Law's Drug has COVID vaccines, RSV vaccines for ages 60 plus. Pneumonia and tetanus shots are also available. Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drug Store, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Another penny in my pocket. Another heart's in your head. Smoke shame. 24 carats just a kid. There's nobody home. There's nobody home. It's all the blues is gold. So you clear your phone and your money don't fold. Yeah, your money don't fold. Shadows in the hole. There's nobody home. Clean, clean. Ice queen looking on the guillotine. Welcome down your floor. Welcome down your floor.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
See a tweet from John Calipari, or whoever it is that does his Twitter, because I remember him talking about that he doesn't operate it very much. Offering to help any way he can for anybody affected in Hot Springs by the tornado from last night. And I see a video from KTV's James Bryant, their lead meteorologist. It's over by Lake Hamilton on the east side. Yeah, there's definitely a lot Just a lot of overturned trees. At least it looks like some houses had their roofs ripped up as well. So it's that time of the year, and the kids had to ask me as I got them ready for school this morning. It's like, are we gonna be able to sleep tonight? It's like I don't know. But we'll be at the ready. We will definitely be at the ready. Tomorrow, Clay, well, there should be. I know there's a Zoom with Dave Van Horn, so it's the regular pre-series press conference. And, I mean, a couple of things I think you'd brought up about Ty Wilmsmeyer. I wonder about the idea of him starting in center field again on Friday and seeing if he can put together a couple of good at-bats. He only got a couple of at-bats in the last series at Kentucky and then was taken out because he wasn't having – it wasn't a matter of just –
You could tell.
Yeah, it's not a matter of you making outs. Just the at-bats are just consistently just not – he's an easy out is what it's become, which is really a surprise because he's been a 270, 280 hitter for his career.
It just looks like he's not seeing the breaking ball. I mean, it's just – and they're not going to throw him a fastball. And he didn't get the bunt down in a couple of series when it's like, okay, that's pretty simple stuff, but that's keeps you from being in the, if you can't get the bunt down and you're not hitting, well, what can you do? Well, play defense. And I get it. Center field is an important spot. And I think Peyton Holt does fine, but he's not as fast as Wilmsmeyer. He's not going to get to some of the balls that Wilmsmeyer is going to get to easily. So it would really help them if he could be a little bit of a threat at the plate. Changes their lineup a lot.
If you could now, you haven't had a steady outfield all year. The only one that is in there every game is Kendall Diggs, and he's been hot and cold too. But he's going to be in that lineup every game. The best lineup I think that they can put together offensively, defensively, when it comes to the outfield is Diggs, Wilmsmeyer, and Holt. Look, other batters that are getting a chance in the outfield, they're not all that productive either. Jason Jones, Will Edmondson, really struggling when they get the opportunity. And Ross Lovich he's not a great outfielder. Like, he's able to hit a little bit, but he kind of helped Kentucky just sort of get gifted 3 runs in the second inning where the series really swung on Saturday. So I think Holt's a good left fielder, and he can be productive at the plate. I feel like left field is his if Wilmsmeyer just is more competitive as a hitter because he takes runs away in center field. Holt's done that in some cases too, but Wilmsmeyer takes them away. And so there's that you want to see settled, left field and center field. And I really wonder, because tomorrow is when the starting pitching rotations are announced by every SEC coach. If are you going with a TBA on Sunday? Because it will be Hagen Smith and then it will be Brady Tygart. Will it be a TBA? Will you announce Mason Molina, or does Gage Wood get an opportunity to start this weekend?
And I think we're seeing the stability at catcher kind of show up with White. His hitting has improved. I mean, his batting average is steadily coming up.
Well, and a little more power too. I mean, he hit a home run, he hit a double. A little more run production, and that's where they're lacking. I mean, you even have guys that are getting on base.
Work some walks too. Yeah.
Well, McLaughlin gets on base. Sprague Lott gets on base. Their run production, like the RBI totals for those 2 hitters, are a little low for where they're hitting in the lineup. So you need run production. And I think you've gotten more of that from Hudson White.
Yep.
It's like Bubba always says, and this is true. It's not what you hit; it's when you hit it. You got to have – that's part of teamwork in baseball. Guys get set up, and guys drive in those guys that set them up.
Yeah, it's time for all that to fall in place, and it may. The thing about it is, don't sabotage your defense for offense because your pitching is too good, and I think that's what gets Wilmsmeyer on the field.
Yeah, it does. It does. And if you if you move Wood into the rotation this weekend, then that puts Mason Molina in a long relief role. And I do wonder about the idea of a guy that was brought in as a Friday pitcher at Texas Tech and was successful. Is he fighting for his job as a Sunday starter right now? Just wasn't very good against South Carolina, but it's one start after an ankle injury, and I don't know. Do you give the veteran one more chance to hold on to that spot in the rotation? Because you don't just get that spot over and over again because you were a veteran and signed here and get whatever NIL money, and you got to keep earning that spot in the rotation. And Gage Woods pitched well enough in long relief that he's an interesting guy. I think he could be a successful starter.
Well, and he's going to be a starter next year. So it's like when do you turn that page? I will say Dave's not afraid to turn the page. I've seen him do it before. But you can still find time for Mason Molina, and he'll probably get a start in Hoover. I suspect they'll win a game in Hoover, and so they'll get 3 or 4. So there's another start out there for him. Just might not be this weekend or next weekend.
Yep. Usually by now. Well, I mean, look, there've been other years where, you weren't even sure who's going to be the starter on Saturday, and yet you ended up with top 8. This is a different looking team this year, and I think a series win against Mississippi State should, because at that point, even if no matter what happens at A&M, then you've won at least 7 of 10 SEC series. You win 7 out of 10, and part of it would depend on, do you sweep Mississippi State or do you just win 2? Whatever happens this weekend, I think, can really go a long way to deciding, like just making next week be about SEC championship and division championship, like not worrying about, are you top 8? Are you top 8? I think you win this series, you're top 8. And then you go from there with next week in the division and the league.
Yeah, I think that the magic number, to me, it has been all year. And somebody said this early, and I just kind of discounted it. Then I kind of went back to it. You get to 20 and 10 in the SEC. I don't think there's ever been a 20-win SEC team that won a national seed. And whether you win the division or not, there might be 3 teams that get to 20 in the SEC this year. I mean, I'm looking around. Yeah, I think Tennessee's going to get there. I think Tennessee is the team in the East. I'd look forward to playing them in Hoover and seeing how you match up, because I think that is a really good team that's played well of late. You could end up having Tennessee, Kentucky, Arkansas, and Texas A&M. All 4 of those could be national seeds, and they're all probably going to be around 20 wins. So get 2 of them this weekend, and then get another one in College Station.
Eric texted in from Nashville on the McLarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963, says Big Mac's not getting as many ground outs as in the past and wonders if it's a loss of velocity or location. That's location, and also
location.
It's location, and it's batters laying off of a cutter in some cases that maybe he gets him to swing at earlier, because, I mean, there's guys get scouted, so they have a sense of the tendencies of how often he's going to throw the pitch, and they have a chance to lay off of it if it's coming in a certain spot where maybe earlier in the season, they didn't know the break on the cutter and would chase it. So, yeah, part of it. Look, he had a really good outing on Friday. I mean, he had 2 scoreless innings. He got knocked around on Sunday a little bit, but I'm looking at Friday and thinking that was how Will McIntyre's been pitching most of the season. And giving up a couple runs to Kentucky, I think that's a really solid lineup.
It's kind of like a pitcher, a starting pitcher, he gets through the lineup twice, and he's pretty good. And that third time, not so good. They've seen it. They've picked up on pitches. They've figured out the spin. They've seen where it comes. You see him the second time on the weekend, you do a little better. So, maybe you get into postseason, you only a team only sees him once, and that sets you up a little better. So, in a super, maybe you don't need him twice. Maybe you can get by. The dynamics change in postseason and how you use pitching and how you play. Dave Van Horn is really good at that, and so I think we're just getting to his time.
So we were talking about the celebration of life for Chris Mortensen on Monday, and reading your column on hitthatline.com. You know, I mean, we'd had him on the show once, and the only reason that it happened is that I'd gotten in touch with Mort on Twitter because I knew he was a Razorback baseball season ticket holder and really had a passion for it. And I thought I would just sort of open up a conversation with him about the team. And he was ready to go back and forth and text about, you know, the pitchers and everything about this team. I mean, he was as much in the weeds of the Arkansas baseball team as he would have been about anything going on in an NFL locker room, too. It's just, I loved how much passion he had for that sport and for that team.
Yeah, I think I've told this story before, but he's getting intense radiation treatment for, you know, stage 4 throat cancer at MD Anderson, and Arkansas plays at Minute Maid in, you know, one of those, you know, February tournaments. And he couldn't come home, but he says, hey, they'll let me out for a few hours. they let me out. It's like he's in prison. And he says, I can't sit in the stands, but the Astros, and I think Dave Van Horn set this up, they've given me a box. It's like, I just want somebody to sit with me that knows Razorback baseball. I don't want to sit with a nurse, you know, that's going to take him over there, you know, to kind of watch him. And he says, are you here? He's texting me. I said, no, I'm not here. And he goes, oh, he says, you could sit in one corner and I could sit in the other. We could still talk. I mean, because he's, you know, he's real, his immune system is way down, you know, so it's like, you know, they don't want you around a crowd. But he was just so fired up that he was going to get to go over and watch some Razorback baseball. And he follows them. He knew each player, and like you say, the tendencies. I mean, he there's not anything that he didn't know about, right? You know, they moved here about the time, you know, Dave Van Horn, where they, you know, got it going. And he's a baseball writer at heart and just fell in love with the way Arkansas played baseball under Dave Van Horn and was a serious fan.
877-377-6963 if you want to share any remembrances of Chris Mortensen. Maybe you bumped into him at Baum-Walker Stadium, because I know he talked to a lot of people on his way in and out of the ballpark as well. Hey, remember about Joe's Grill and Cantina. That's where the best Tex-Mex and better service is located. Every Friday's Fajita Friday, and every Saturday is Endless Enchiladas. You'll get Joe's homemade enchilada sauce, all the beef and chicken enchiladas that you can eat. Joe's Grill and Cantina, great Tex-Mex, better service, and a great place to watch Razorback athletics as well. 3400 South 74th, right across from Harps. Can make an order at joesfortsmith.com. Back to wrap up the second hour of halftime in just a moment.
This is halftime.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McClarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McClarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McClarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, Sakhalin.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all summer sports, from Major League Baseball, golf, to the NBA and NHL playoff stats. They've got all the latest stats, news, and scores available to follow your favorite teams. Get the latest odds and lines, including the latest team matchups, player props, and odds on just about every sport out there. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yeah.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business, on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Madonna has gone from like a virgin to like a surgeon. You can try to nip and tuck from the curse of sin, but eventually death is going to win. God will do major surgery on this sin-filled world, and when he does, people will try and hide their faces from him. Even plastic Christians won't be exempt. Look up Isaiah chapter 2 and see how the spiritual world renders this an immaterial world. I'm Pastor Abe from Woodland. Read about it.
501-955-2500. The Arkansas Activities Association is looking for sports officials, and you may be the answer.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
She's on a straight and narrow. I'm guessing all the time. I'm looking at the signs. Okay. And stepping out of line.
Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
A national weather alert for a phone call from Brian in Ozark here on the McClarty Daniel hotline. So if anybody needs to change the channel, there are some who want to. There's some who wonder why we take his calls. He might not be respectful to everybody on the station, but he is here for the most part. Brian, what's up, man? How are you?
I love that, man. That's awesome. Hey, I want to bring up something to see if you remember this. And I mean, this is kind of something that should happen. So, 3 years ago, Arkansas played NC State in the regional, I want to say.
It was a super regional.
Yeah. Kevin Copps was, I believe it was a regional when they played NC State, right?
It was a super.
And they beat it.
Yeah, I was there, trust me.
20 to something?
I was there.
Okay. I know that you know. All right. So, they won the first game 20 to something. And then they got kind of beat in the next two games. NC State went on to Omaha, right?
That's exactly right.
Because, so what I remember about that was basically NC State didn't start their ace on Friday night, conceded to Kevin Copps because they knew that they could stack up well against won those games.
Well, what they did in that game, Brian, was that once it got out of hand, they just threw their.
They started their ace.
Yeah, they started their guy on
one.
Friday. It's just
He
once
got
Arkansas got ahead of them, they just threw out slappies from the bullpen and just kind of gave up from there, which
Saved
turned out
pitching.
to be a brilliant strategy.
Yeah, they had
so
two good lefties that
my
they
point-
saved. Yeah.
My point on this is there is a drop off from Hagen Smith to Brady Tiger and Molina. You know what? If they started their aces on Saturday or Sunday, I'm talking about Mississippi State or even A&M, and concede to Hagen Smith on Friday, that evens the playing field pretty well, wouldn't you say? I ain't have to listen.
So there's going to be a drop-off between Hagen Smith and every other pitcher in the country. Doesn't matter what team you're on.
Including some that are throwing in the major leagues.
There is that much of a drop-off between him and everybody in the country. It's not a matter of a drop-off between him and Hagen and Brady Tygart and Mason Molina. Like Hagen Smith is the best pitcher in the country right now. He's going on right now. He's going to be the first player. He's going to be the first college pitcher taken in the draft. I think the last mock I saw is going 6th. So that drop off would happen one way or the other. The idea is that you win your game that Hagen Smith plays. You got to find a way to win one of the next 2. And there are a lot of teams in the country that would be very happy with Brady Tygart as their Friday pitcher or Mason Molina as their Friday pitcher. The thing with Brady is a measure of consistency that it was coming along until this last weekend against Kentucky when he really couldn't throw his fastball for a strike where he wanted to. The 3 starts before that, he pitched really well. So, and they have a bullpen which can kind of balance out the idea that there is that difference between Hagen Smith and everybody else. So, look, with Kopps, there was a different thing because as a reliever, and then he did start the last game of that series, too, and he was incredibly good. It's just, they couldn't score. So I don't view this as the same thing as 2021. I view it a little bit more like 2018, where you just kind of knew they were going to win the game that Blaine Knight pitches, and then you find a way to win one of the next 2. And for the most part, they did it that year. And this year, for the most part, they've done the same thing.
Yeah, they did that with Isaiah Campbell, too.
Back for the 3rd hour of halftime right after this.
When it's time for breakfast, Calico County is making it all from scratch. Yet the dedicated early morning crew at Calico are cooking up and serving buttermilk pancakes, moist biscuits, rich waffles, country fried potatoes, 3 types of gravy, and of course their famous cinnamon rolls and much more. They serve all of this and a lot more 7 days a week until 11 a.m. Stop in, call ahead, or get it to go. Or just come by and pick up a dozen cinnamon rolls for the office. For breakfast, lunch, dinner, or catering, roll on into Calico County. They're home cooking good. Calico County, just off Rogers Avenue behind Randall Ford.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Are you an angler having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Witts Marine on North 11th Street, is your place. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Zoom, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Daiwa Rod and Reels. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, 803 North 11th Street in Fort Smith, 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Witts Marine at Make a Wake Bait and Tackle.
The Lynx at Chaffee Crossing prides itself in providing award-winning barbecue. Whether you're craving ribs, pork, brisket, or chicken, we can satisfy any appetite. Stop in and watch Razorback baseball and enjoy everyday food and drink specials like $2 domestic beer or $3 premiums. The Lynx at Chaffee Crossing is here and ready to serve you the best barbecue in the River Valley. The Lynx at Chaffee Crossing next to Deer Trails Golf Course. Come see us.
The Party Place has everything you need for special occasions. Graduation, Cinco de Mayo, Memorial Day, a luau, you name it.
Pre-order your balloons now for the month of May.
Mother's Day, baby showers, party supplies for 1 to 100.
Locations in Conway and Fort Smith. The Party Place in the Tuesday Morning Building behind Ashley Furniture in Fort Smith. Get ready for your party at the Party Place.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, occasional showers and thunderstorms. Some could be strong to severe hail, gusty winds, and isolated tornadoes will be possible. Our high temperatures today will be right around 85 degrees. Showers and strong to severe thunderstorms still possible tonight, especially across the north, overnight low right around 60. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by real estate agents Nick and Ellie Glidewell. Ready to serve. KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Crabtree RV Studios on ESPN 95.3. Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center Studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
Good one tonight. You got to take me here. That's the perspective. If I'm all right. Well, can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field. Both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. Let's go, man.
I have zero respect for saying no moss at halftime.
Name of one Razorback.
It's vintage Matt Jones.
Here we go. Right now, let's go to the field.
Call or text on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Welcome back into our third hour of halftime. I'm Phil Elson, Matt Jones, Clay Henry, the one and only, with us, and the C Unit Christian Johnston producing. It's a wide open hour. The McClarty Daniel hotline is open for you anytime you want to get on. 877-377-6963. I heard the pop of a can of carbonated water of some sort. What flavor you got over there now?
It's the Grapefruit League.
Those are good ones. Those are my favorite ones. You usually don't do the flavored bubbly water.
No, Clay, are you a bubbly, a fizzy water guy?
No, it's just straight.
Yeah.
It's Aquafina or Ozarka or Sam's Club water. It doesn't matter.
You know that one in Hot Springs. What is it? Mountain Valley.
Oh man,
they got the good sparkling water. You can't find it everywhere, but it's pretty tasty.
I've had bottled water before at a restaurant or these, and they'll ask you, you want this kind of water or this kind of water?
What is it called? It's still or sparkling.
Yeah.
Yes. I'll just take the tap water. We just call it
water's
tap.
fine. Yeah. We have well water at our house, and it is fantastic. It's got good stuff in it. The well water does.
Matt, what do you need for a sparkling
And
water?
Here
to be
we
just
serve
right?
whiskey. If you want water, you better go outside and stick your head in a trough.
I was going to ask you what needs to be good for sparkling
back
water
to
to
the
be right.
Back to the Future quote.
Maybe
yeah.
it needs to just get in with. Maybe it needs to just pair well with whiskey.
There you go. Topo Chico's, you got it going on. I really do. I just like the plain water, but yeah, you can't be. I heard somebody talking about a ribeye. It was like, man, lunchtime again. Phil starts bringing up food.
It's a problem. I read a guy. He still works at the Travelers. Reggie, reasonable Reggie. He'll detail your car while you're watching the game, and that would also be the same for all the players and everything too. But he's a guy that would never drink water. I always asked him about that too. It's 105 degrees outside, and he's been working on the field for 2 hours or cleaning the ballpark and everything like that. He needs a Coke. Reggie, I mean, water actually is a little better for you. And this is how he sounds. He'd be like, I need something with flavor, just like that. Need something with flavor. It's like he would always say, like his saying, because I think he probably made more money detailing cars than he did working for the franchise. He would always, anytime he'd see you, and he knew that it had been like a few weeks since you'd had your car detailed, it was, give me your keys. Every time, man.
So what would you give him for detailing your car?
Whatever he asked for.
Probably 220s at least, or you give him a Hyundai.
I was making like $15,000 a year, so I think it was
like
probably
right?
I think it was more like a staggered pricing range.
Yeah.
For someone who wasn't, he didn't know what I was making, but he had a sense. Like you could ask the season ticket holders that were sitting behind home plate, maybe a little bit more. For me, I don't remember what I paid him, but I gave him something.
Yeah.
And some free publicity, right?
I could use it now, though. I tell you what, for as much as I spend in my car now, going back and forth, I'd have to give him a cool 150, I think, because there's enough. Look, I'm not at the point where, as a parent, like I find petrified cheese sticks underneath a kid's seat like I did for years. Does any parent out there knows what that's like?
A couple fries somewhere, yeah.
I mean, cheese sticks that you could hurt somebody with, that would really hurt. You could throw them. You could throw them about as far as you could throw a baseball, because it'll weigh. Two of them together might weigh about the same.
Like 4 McDonald's French fries.
Right. Speaking of throwing a baseball, so the new wide receiver at Arkansas, Monty Harrison. We can do a 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon with a guy that I'll bring up from the big leagues right now. The Brewers have now reinstated Christian Yelich from the 10-day injured list, so he's back on their active roster. He's only played in 11 games. Yelich, of course, was the MVP in the National League in 2019 and hasn't been anything of the sort in the last 5 years. You know, Monty Harrison, the newest Razorback wide receiver, was part of a trade that got Yelich from the Marlins to the Brewers, and that's how Harrison ended up getting dealt from Milwaukee to the Marlins, and that's the team that he ended up making his Major League debut with in 2020. So, and I think, who was it earlier that had texted in, one of our loyal listeners and texters, I think Ryan in Prairie Grove had referred to it. He remembered that trade. Yeah, he was traded with Lewis Brinson, Isan Diaz, and Jordan Yamamoto to the Miami Marlins for Christian Yelich. And Clay, we kicked it around with even Otis Kirk called in while we were talking about it. I think Monty Harrison is coming here. He's a walk-on, but I don't really think he's like a walk-on. You know what I mean? Like of the talent level of a walk-on, because if you played Major League Baseball and you played center field and you can steal bases at an 84% clip in the minors, I think you have the kind of speed and body control that might be able to play receiver in the SEC, just getting back to football after 10 or 11 years.
Supreme athletic ability. You know, it's just, will his body absorb what football is? And, can he remember that, and can he get over the bumps and bruises? You know, it's like a different time. This name, y'all probably won't remember this, but it was back in the 90s. Arkansas had a minor league baseball player from Malvern that decided to return to football, Vince Bradford. And he started, I think, 2 or 3 years at inside linebacker, made a lot of tackles. And we sat and talked, and he said it took him a full year to get back in, okay, my body can handle this, and my mind. You know, like I'm going to be sore. It's a different sore. I mean, it's playing, 140 minor league baseball games. Yeah, that wears on you, but it's not like going out there and getting hit and delivering blows. And what's it going to be like going up over the middle and knowing that somebody's going to pummel you when you catch that ball? It's a different mindset. We'll see if that works, but I don't worry about his athletic ability.
I just love also, too, that here's a 28-year-old man who's coming into the same incoming freshman class as 17 and 18-year-olds, but it's like he's showing up in a man's body, right? I mean, this is not part of the transfer class. This is an addition to the incoming high school class. I shouldn't even call it high school, but
yeah, you can say, man, I see you guys later. I'm going down to Dixon Street and getting me a beer too.
Right. Someone even had texted in. It's like, now we know who buys the beer for the guys. One of the newest players on the team could do it.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Well, they've added to the receiver core through the portal with a couple of players. Have this Khafre Brown coming in from South Florida, who had caught 496 yards worth of receptions for the last couple of years.
That's a bunch.
Yeah, I mean that can play a little bit. So it sounds like you got some. I mean, it feels like there should be some competition for playing time at wide receiver, and it's not just, well, it's Armstrong and it's Broden and it's Tesla and it's Atenia. Yeah, I think those are the guys that have a leg up on the competition. But I mean, you got one here that's already produced for a Division I program, and now you got an athlete that I think he'll be a fascinating story to watch.
Yeah, so I don't know what his contract was like, but it seems like most of the kids that sign out of high school, one of the things they always throw in there is that they'll pay for your college education.
That is the case with this. Yes.
Yeah, in I've talked to some scouts and some Major League Baseball guys and some college baseball guys. 90% of those kids don't ever get that because they, say it's 5 years, 6 years later, they're married, they have kids, they got to get a job. They're not able to go back to college in most cases. The high school kids, but Vince Bradford, he did. I think it was Detroit Tigers. They paid for all of his college at Arkansas. They never had to put him on scholarship, and they never had to count him as part of the 85 because he had that. And I'm guessing that's the comfort zone that this guy has. I'm going to go back and get my education. Maybe I can play, and he doesn't have to play if he decides he doesn't want to after a year.
Hey, Chaz in Fayetteville texted in. You talk about like great two-sport athletes, and I know one of the best in the state history because I've seen highlights of him and I've heard the stories of him. And you got to use the word legend carefully, but I mean Basil Shabazz was a legend. What do you think? Now he chose baseball out of high school.
Basil Shabazz?
Yeah. Chaz has a question here. How do you think his football career would have done if he'd have chosen that out of high school?
He could have done whatever he wanted to. If whatever
well,
his mind
was.
He was
like his knees. Yeah.
Yeah. You remember Kaneko Logan, Clay?
Same deal.
Yeah,
he was pretty sweet to watch.
Now, was Torrey Hunter and Basil Shabazz, were they high school teammates?
I think so.
Talk about that. Right. Talk about that lineup right there.
Did Torrey play football too?
Oh yeah. Yeah, he played.
I can't imagine he wouldn't have. I mean, this is the same position. He played center field. What position did he play in high school, in the football?
I think he might have been a wide receiver, but I don't remember it specifically. But he was, of course, he signed with the Razorbacks to play baseball.
Yeah.
He just never was going to come. I think that when you talk about, the great two-way players, Shabazz would have to be there. Of course, to me, he didn't play in Arkansas. He came from Mississippi. But they say the greatest two-way player ever come to Arkansas was Lance Allworth. He was a center fielder. You can imagine him playing center field, can't you, Phil?
Yeah. If
he hit home runs, he played center field.
Nickname's Bambi.
If your nickname's Bambi, I would think you can.
He probably jump over the fence and catch it.
That's right. It's a home run. Well, no,
it'd be like a cricket. He'll throw it up and then hop back over the fence and get it back.
Of course, Barry Lunny tells you he's a great two-way player too. He did play baseball, but played quarterback in baseball at Arkansas. Left-handed pitcher, played some first base. He may have set a record for walks in one season.
Barry Lunny did?
Yeah, I think so. I think he set some kind of record for walks. I think it's been broken, but he, you have to be good to set a record in walks because they have to leave you out there, right? It's like somebody that walks a lot of batters, they're usually not going to leave you out there. But he could get guys out.
877-377-6963 to get with us on anything we just brought up there. There's a lot more to get to on halftime, including a visit from DJ Wagner for Arkansas basketball this weekend, and maybe that means another commit after the weekend. Stay with halftime. We'll be right back after this.
The Cal era is here. Championship Under Construction is brought to you by Limbird Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your real estate needs, go to LimbirdTeam.com. Limbird Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your real estate needs, go to LimbirdTeam.com.
I tell you what, I know this. Got a lot of guys with some big hearts. For 3 hours or however long, maybe 4 hours, we're the best team in the country today. And it's offense, defense, and special teams. It's some guys like Darren McFadden, baby. Y'all better put him in the Heisman. You better put him up there. I'm tired of him being number 4.
We got that wood right here, baby.
Somebody better look at this guy's the best football player in the country, and his name's not being mentioned. Lou Holtz, Mark May, number 5. You better look at him a little closer. He's a football player.
ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
You will never find a boring old burger at Art's Barbecue and Burgers in Fort Smith. Try the Wild West Burger, topped with a hot link, jalapenos, and Art's hot sauce. The Brisket Burger, with tender brisket and caramelized onions on top of their hand-patted burger. Or the famous Art Attack, with house bacon, smoked ham, an onion ring, and a fried egg. There are 10 different burgers to choose from, and they're all $1 off every Saturday. Art's Barbecue Burgers and more. Rogers Avenue, next to Buddy's in Fort Smith.
Pay attention. This happens fast. You need money.
You get a job. Turns out that job doesn't pay near enough for the nonsense it puts you through every day. You want to move fast, but the clock moves slow. You're smart, though. You know machines. You want to work at a place as fast as you. You call Medley Equipment Company. They need a technician, and they'll teach you everything you need to know to be the best, with pay raises all along. Because Medley keeps you moving.
I'm Branch Manager Dennis Mabry. Visit medleycompany.com or see us at 4001 Harper Avenue, Fort Smith, Arkansas.
Summer is finally here. Come check out Kofer's Boat Center's huge selection of boats with the best incentives in years. Kofer's experienced professionals will answer all your boating questions, and their award-winning customer service with Mercury, Malibu, Lowe, Caymas, and Garmin will keep your boat in peak condition. Kofer's also has a fully stocked pro shop and updated RV and boat storage facilities. Find Kofer's online at Kofer's.com. That's COPHERS.com. Kofer's Boat Center, your authorized Mercury dealer, helping their customers create a lifetime of memories for over 50 years.
I know we're always on the go, heading to Fayetteville, Little Rock, Oklahoma City, and you need a place to fill up. But not just for gas. I need snacks, drinks, and a restroom that doesn't make me throw up. That's why my new favorite pit stop is Jam Mart number 10, located at 6201 Grand Avenue on the way out of town. I can't stop by without getting something from their hot box or a fresh made burger. That's Jam Mart number 10, located at 6201 Grand Avenue in Fort Smith.
When you need legal help, turn to the law offices of Craig L. Cook. With over 40 years combined experience, the Cook Law Team works for you. If you've been injured in an auto accident, hurt on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help with bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
Attention homeowners, storm season is here, and it's time to take action to protect your property. At H&H Tree Service, we've got you covered. Licensed and insured, our expert team specializes in removing dangerous trees and limbs, keeping you and your loved ones safe. Plus, count on us for thorough storm cleanup services. Our service area includes the entire River Valley and parts of Oklahoma. Don't wait until it's too late. Call H&H Tree Service at 479-227-9480. H&H Tree Service, your safety is our priority.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry. Stay in the slow lane, buddy. That's when I use the Sodies app to order my favorites and pick up in their drive-thru. They even offer a 10% discount on your first app order. Experience different at Sodies Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Every day is worth celebrating at Uncorked. Cocktails, wine, craft beer, bourbons, and unbelievably great food. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodies.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. It's time for school. Texas Tech.
Take a minute to stop, read it back to fun, make everything do. Just get thankful, breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in and out.
Find halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Oh, let's see. I got checked out of school for a couple of reasons. Early, I got checked out to go to Pirates opening day from school. Got checked out early to go meet George Carlin at an airport when he was on the same flight as my father. Those are good reasons to be checked out of school early. Matt, we got a text in here on the McClarty Daniel hotline from Brad in Springdale. He is counting down to the Champions League match today. It says 45 minutes. Because that text was sent in 4 minutes ago. 45 minutes, go Real Madrid, checking out my 10-year-old son so we can watch together. Dad of the year?
I love it. My pops used to check me out. So there would be one day a year. There'd be many school years where I'd only miss one day a year, and be on my birthday. He would take me turkey hunting. So that would be like the only day of school I would miss. So that was pretty cool. Yeah, man, it's a big one. It's the biggest one. Dortmund got through yesterday. You got to think Mbappe is going to be at Real Madrid next year. This is Real Madrid's tournament. You know, you got Harry Kane, who went over to Bayern to win some trophies. He hadn't been winning any trophies with the Spurs, and Bayern Leverkusen sets a record and goes undefeated in conference play. You know, they won the Bundesliga this year, so they still got a chance. It could be an all-German final, but man, it's going to be an epic. It's going to be an epic battle. The first one was a draw, so they're going to play till there's a winner. Could be extra time, could be penalties. The best of the best. I mean, there's 22 of the players, Phil. 18 of them are 5 stars, and the other 4 are 4 stars. You know, like they're the best of the best at what they do.
They're all Galacticos. That's the way I'm going to look at it. And we know we've got a Real Madrid fan here in Brad. I know there's a Dortmund fan. I don't remember who it was that texted in yesterday about it. Anyone want to let us know who it is that you root for as far as this one is concerned?
Real Madrid for me.
377-6963. Clay is a Real
like
Madrid
to watch
fan.
them play. Yep,
JT got checked out to go to the Sugar Bowl against Ohio State.
Oh, down in Louisiana.
And Nathan in Bentonville texted in, Matt. He said he got checked out early to go watch you play 6 overtimes in Knoxville. Was it Knoxville?
Yeah, we lost to Tennessee up there. That great game as far as, you know, Cedric Cobbs, George Wilson, Richard Smith, Ken Hamlin, Bua, Caleb Miller. I mean, so many great plays that game. They outlasted us in the 6 overtime. It was a battle.
Yeah, it's 1969, great shootout. I got checked out of school Friday morning. All of us went to Fayetteville. My dad had rented a house in Bella Vista for the whole family for the weekend. So all 4 of my brothers, we all got chipped out of school. I'm on the basketball team at Little Rock Central. We'd already started the season. And, you know, I asked the coach, I said, I'm going to miss tonight. I mean, I was a JV player, 10th grader, but I was on the team. And he goes, absolutely, you're excused. So that was first hour. I didn't know we were going to go, but my bag was already packed. And I guess if he said no, I was going to stay with Grandma. But we went, and then Monday, first hour, I got called to the coach's office. He said, hey, I just wanted you to know you're suspended this week. And I was like, I'm suspended? You told me I could go. And he goes, how am I going to tell Orville Henry you can't go to the game? And he says, but you'll just miss the first JV game Tuesday at Hot Springs, but you can go. You just have to wear your warm up, but you can't have your uniform for this game. So it's like I got home and my dad laughed. He goes, I knew that was going to happen. I just didn't tell you.
I remember the feel. You feel like the coolest kid, you know, when you get to actually walk. There's different between, all right, you don't have to go to school today, just stay home, or you're at school and everybody else has to stay, and they hear your name coming through that intercom or that speaker that's at the top of the room on the wall. And Phil Elson, please report to the principal's office or just to meet your dad. Now, they knew I wasn't in trouble, but you get up, you stand a little taller, you walk a little quicker. You can tell everybody's not just looking at you, but they're also drooling.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to the Pirates home opener. That's right, and you're not. I remember that feeling. I felt like the cool kid. Didn't happen too often.
Mine was I'd get called over the loudspeaker, Matt Jones, to the principal's office, and my dad would be in there before I got in there and be like, oh.
Because he's
already heard it. Yeah, he's already heard it.
Let's see what this is about. Yeah, and then Mama knew when you got home.
Oh, yeah. When the worst
that was worse.
Go to your room and wait till your father gets home.
Oh yeah. Now they take away your iPad. I don't remember what they took away from us when we
just made you sit in a corner. That was
what
it was.
I know what I had to do. When I was in trouble, I had to go outside with a fork and dig weeds out of the yard.
Trying to think, like, what did they take away from me? You could, as a kid, if you said I'm not allowed to watch the Pirates game, that's what my mom did once. We're listening in the car. We're driving somewhere. A woman is singing the national anthem. She stunk. I think I was 7 or 8 and said, I think I said something like, "Oh, shut up, lady, you stink." My mother didn't like that. She turned the game off. You can't listen to the game now. That taught me a lesson.
That's a bad one.
Yeah, because I didn't miss any games.
Yeah.
Now I don't want to watch them at all. Now it's like, why would I do that to myself?
Motivation for us when I was in high school to make your grades, the Orioles are always in the World Series, and Brooks Robinson's playing third base, and he's Little Rock High grad, Little Rock Central for me. And yeah, they had this beautiful auditorium in Little Rock High, and they had 3 TVs on the stage, 3 big box TVs, black and white TVs. They were not color TVs. And the World Series games were in the afternoon. They
Yep.
weren't night games.
I think the first World Series night game was 1971.
Yep. So this was 69 and 70 when this happened. But if you had your grades and you had study hall or lunch, you had a pass to. When I say you had your grades, you had to have all A's. You could go watch the World Series games and watch Brooks Robbins. That was pretty good motivation for me.
Yeah, that would be motivation enough for me. Yeah, 877-377-6963 for calls and texts when we get into this. DJ Wagner will be visiting this weekend for Arkansas basketball, and that means he'll, I'm assuming, come to a baseball game, see a big crowd. Hopefully the weather's good this weekend. You get Mississippi State coming in, Mother's Day weekend, last home games of the regular season, so get to see that. That always is, I think, a good thing to show anybody that's coming in. But just the fact that he's coming in makes you feel like there'll be a commitment sometime soon.
Monday.
That's happened on Mondays recently.
You had the Monday release, yeah.
Well, so all right, so Ivisic committed on a Monday. This past weekend, Adu Tiero committed on a Monday. Did Jonas Adu also commit on a Monday?
Yep.
I feel like he did.
Yep, they're all
So it's been a
Mondays.
Monday thing.
We don't want to sing the Mom and Papa song Monday.
Nor do we want to jinx it. Is that even a thing? Is it a
No,
jinx if we
there's no
talk
jinx.
about this? No.
If there's anybody that I trust to get this done, it's this basketball coach. I trust him.
Well, it seems like what they've zeroed in on, they've gotten. I like the idea. I don't mind last year's Kentucky players coming here either, truthfully. So they lost in the first round last year. They're going to show up better than they were the year before. Like DJ Wagner as a point guard, as a freshman, he's going to be a lot better as a sophomore.
Well, he had a bad ankle last year. It was a significant factor in the way he played. Just was not healthy all year. And I think that he'll be a different looking player. And year 2. Year 1 is hard that's why I would rather have him than bring in, even a portal guy. He knows the system. He knows this offense. You're not starting from scratch with the number of Kentucky players that you've brought in. It's going to be the same terminology. It's the same assistant coaches. Bring these guys on.
We got a phone call from Todd in Rogers. Let's talk with Todd. He's on the McLarty Daniel hotline. Todd, thanks for calling. What's up?
Well, I wanted to back you up just a little bit because you were talking about Vasile Shabazz and Torrey Hunter.
Shoot.
And back in the 90s, I'm from Pine Bluff originally, and I used to work with the football team. So Torrey Hunter never played football. He wouldn't play because of his
Well, thank you
baseball.
for that. Yep.
And Shabazz was just an amazing person. I used to tape his ankles before football games, and I don't know if you remember the state championship game that he played in against Texarkana, but in that game, Texarkana had not allowed any conference opponent to score in their last 8 games. So everybody was thinking that Texarkana was going to be able to stop Shabazz. So before the game, I was taping his ankles, and I asked him, this is one of my best stories about him, that I asked him, how many touchdowns are you going to score today? And he looked at me and said, I'm going to score 4. And I said, you're going to score 4 against the team that hadn't allowed any touchdowns in the last 8 games? And he said, yep. Well, the thing was, Vasile scored 4 touchdowns before half. And then he took the opening kickoff and scored on that. So for the second half. So anyways, just thought I'd give you all a little Vasile Shabazz story and little bit of an update on Torrey, because he and the coaches in Pine Bluff were always begged Torrey to come play football, but he never would. He always stuck with his baseball because that's where his love was.
You ever see anybody better than Shabazz?
No.
The people that watched him say that, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he had another year. There was a story written about him several years ago. They were trying to find him. They found him down in the Dallas-Fort Worth area running a program, performance program for underprivileged kids. And they had him in his sweats and old tennis shoes, and he ran a 40 in 4.5. So
he was probably 4.3 something, right?
Yeah, he could. I mean, he was amazing and just a very polite and just a good young man. He just kind of got mixed up with the fact that he thought he was so good he didn't have to go to class. Yeah. So his grades were not the best, but he would have been a sensational ball player. He did come back and played for UA Pine Bluff at one time after he had torn up his ankle and his knee in baseball. And he played and was doing great. He was a running back for UAPB and broke his neck. And so after he broke his neck, the doctors told him that after it was healed, the doctor said that the neck is fine if you want to go back and play. And the SEAL said, I'm hanging it up now. He had about all he wanted to go through and risk. So, anyways, just a little update on him. Anyway,
it's a good call, Todd. I really appreciate you dialing up. Thank you. 877-377-6963. See, I'd heard that, I think he was kind of, I don't know if you said like cornered into choosing baseball, but wasn't going to really be accepted into a school. Prop 48, I think, was an issue.
He was going to be a junior college player,
Yeah, so he ended up a third-round pick of the Cardinals, did play for the Travelers for part of a season in 1994, got up to Double-A, and that was it for him. I guess it was the ankle injury.
Yeah, so the old-timers, people like Wadey Moore that I know, I haven't seen that much high school football. I saw a lot in a short period of time in the 70s. They always talk about, the greatest players in the modern era. You can't, nobody knows about the 30s and 40s, but they talk about Jerry Eckwood, Shabazz, Madre Hill, and Darren McFadden, that group. And you mentioned Kaneko Logan, and, you might put him in that group too. Just when you watched them, they were on a different level.
Hey, we're in the home stretch of halftime. We've got time for calls and texts when we come back. First, want to remind you about Crabtree RV Center in Alma. You're making adventurous plans for you and your family over the summer. I'm going to guarantee you that Crabtree RV has an RV on the lot right now that is perfect for you. You can get a look at all of them at crabtreerv.com or just show up. They're right there at the junction of I-40 and I-49 in Alma beside the Cracker Barrel. They've got the parts and service department on site and everything you need in between at Crabtree RV. Been making your family's dreams come true for over 70 years and 4 generations. Again, it's crabtreerv.com. The McLarty Daniel hotline is 877-377-6963. Stay with Halftime. We are back after this.
This is Halftime. You can now download our...
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McCarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McCarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McCarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, Sakale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, Sakale, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all summer sports, from Major League Baseball, golf, to the NBA and NHL playoff stats. They've got all the latest stats, news, and scores available to follow your favorite teams. Get the latest odds and lines, including the latest team matchups, player props, and odds on just about every sport out there. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insights and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business, on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Madonna has gone from like a virgin to like a surgeon. You can try to nip and tuck from the curse of sin, but eventually death is going to win. God will do major surgery on this sin-filled world, and when he does, people will try and hide their faces from him. Even plastic Christians won't be exempt. Look up Isaiah chapter 2 and see how the spiritual world renders this an immaterial world. I'm Pastor Abe from Woodland. Read about it.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned. Arkansas.
Ensure the highest quality workmanship and warranties all their work. They're open Monday through Friday 8 to 5 and has emergency service available 24 hours a day. For all your diesel pump, fuel injection, and parts needs, stop by Arkansas Fuel Injection, 6300 South 29th Street, Fort Smith. Call them today at 1-800-817-7709. Arkansas Fuel Injection.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
Don't act so special. What I do is not for you. Forget about it. You made this mess up. Now get you through. Don't you ignore. Forget about it. Got you running in circles. Get your paws off my toes. Take a look off the throne, 'cause I know you walk away and forget about it.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
I gotta say, Matt Jones, this little playlist you put together for halftime today. It's I'm putting together my own little playlist.
I got a word for it.
What is it?
Dope.
Ooh. Whoa! Look at Clay going back. Is that
Got
fire?
Got
It's
the
fire.
Got the Riz.
It's dope.
Bruh. Just like she's got to drop a bra on you for that. Bra. I had my daughter in the car. Brought this up the other day about, I looked at her, Matt, and I said yesterday when I had her in the car, I was like, my co-host referred to your favorite rapper as Aubrey yesterday, and she rolled her eyes like it was nobody's business.
I thought about it a little more. Now, I didn't delve into like the beef, but I'm going to go Team Kendrick Lamar. Yeah.
She doesn't even know what the beef is about.
I don't either.
She just cares that it's Drake. But she did not say to me when I said, Matt called him Aubrey. She did not say bruh, because I thought that's what was going to happen at that point.
I like that.
14-year-old calling me bruh. It's just like, and it's two girls calling each other bruh in the back seat too. I don't quite get it. They wouldn't know what dope means. They would have no idea.
Okay.
I don't think so.
But they know what Drake means.
In fuego.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Drake is a duck that's flying south, for the winter, and so you gotta watch out.
Apparently, all right? So people are wondering, does he follow his fandom with Cal from Kentucky to Arkansas?
Absolutely, he does.
Okay, so are we all right with Aubrey being a Razorback fan now?
Yeah, he'll be on the front row.
He did this to one of my soccer teams, Juventus. He put one of their jerseys on, and I don't think they've been the same since.
Oh,
so
you don't like that?
It's the curse. It's a Drake curse.
You think there's a jinx? There's a Drake jinx?
I don't know who you want. Do you want Kim Kardashian or Drake more, because she takes her kids to all the games too? Getting
Does
the
that
jersey.
mean that like he might roll in with Doris Burke?
That would be a good pairing right there.
I think they're buds. Yeah.
Speaking, so is he a Yankee fan too? It's like he's kind of gotten onto some of the bandwagon fans, aside from the Toronto Raptors, which is his hometown team.
I think that's the in vogue thing. You saw it with our last head ball coach, Musselman. Everywhere he goes, you get T-shirts and you kind of buddy with people. I think that's just part of the marketing, part of the new way that you just. It's your face out there with the team jersey. I don't know. I think, to your point, I think he's really probably only a Raptors fan.
Yeah, but how cool would it look actually though if he does? If at some point he's wearing a Razorback shirt, but you realize like how many fans would be like, no, take that thing off. Just like you said, he ruined one of your teams in Europe. You worry about that here. Like who was the most famous Razorback basketball fan because Muss was the coach? Was it Phil Nevin? The former Angels manager.
Snoop Dogg had a thing with him. I knew that.
Did he? Yeah, Snoop Dogg was there. I always got a kick growing up in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I think it was Phil Nevin.
Snoop Dogg was a Steelers fan and still is a Steelers fan. I got a kick out of that. I never looked at that as like, okay, that's gonna Snoop Dogg is gonna jinx my favorite NFL team. I know there are people that look at Drake the same way. They look at him like, stay away from my team.
Snoop beat a rap for murder. He's not going to jinx our team. You don't have to worry about that. He's all good. Now Drake, on the other hand, Aubrey might he might do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that one of the bottles of wine that I have in my little stash is a Snoop Dogg brand.
Really?
19 Crimes.
Yes, that's right. I've seen that in the stores.
Yeah.
19 crimes, but a wine ain't one.
Yeah, I was into that before he bought it, and I was like, man, I got to stop drinking that.
Notice the wine is not sponsoring the bowl game. It's the gin and juice drink. It's the harder stuff.
Well, and the Drake, he doesn't give back the big TV. Buy the big TV for your wedding, and then the Drake, that's how they act.
We got a question in on the McClarty Daniel hotline from Nathan in Bentonville, and he said his concern right now with the Kentucky players that are joining Cal, and he also says it's with Cal, is defense, because it wasn't a solid defensive team last year. I will say though, it's like Jonas Aidoo is a good defender at Tennessee, and that's a team that could play a little bit of defense. So it's right now it's three players off of the current or the old Kentucky roster, and we don't know what the freshmen will be like as far as defenders are concerned. I do know Jonas Aidoo can defend, so I don't.
They say that's what Billy Richmond does, and he is a grade A defender. Like I want that guy, and he locks him down. That was kind of addressed, in Cal's introductory presser, is like the group that they had last year that he identified they weren't great defenders, and he knew that and elected to play a different way with them. And he said we won't be like that going forward. I mean, they've played good defense at Kentucky. I mean, I think this was a different type of year for them, and it drew some criticism, but it's like, man, that wasn't what they were.
They were ranked 334th nationally defensively last year, ranked 106th 2 years ago. So, I mean, that's a pretty big differential just in the rankings in and of itself. Went from allowing 66 points a game 2 years ago, and last year almost 80 points a game. So, I mean, it does feel like last season was the outlier as far as
and guess
as far
what?
as defense.
That doesn't work. He knows it.
Yeah, 2018, 2019 ranked 29th nationally defensively. So it's only just, I think it's just last year where they really kind of struggled.
It's a collection of players, and they weren't defenders. I think that he's addressing that with some of his, the new guys. I think you recruit toughness in defense. I've never seen, and I talked to Nolan about that. In fact, I haven't written that story, but like you know what you've got when you sign them, that they've got it. And in fact, I was talking to him about that. Calipari said, we recruit good people. And Nolan says, yeah, you can recruit all good people and you probably won't be any good. He's like, I said, Coach, you mean you got to have some thugs? And he says, you better have some guys that are tough. Let's put it that way.
Well, I think the idea of maybe like
take no prisoners,
tough, or just like have a nasty streak when it's necessary.
Yeah.
Well, certain positions need that too. Like if you're going to play around the rim, you can't be a knight.
Can't be soft.
You can be nice off the court, I guess, but you can't be soft on the court.
Whatever soft is, you need the opposite of that.
Well, I get the idea that they didn't play much defense last year, but it does seem like the outlier, and I just don't. I know his teams at Memphis, they defended. At UMass, it was a good defensive team. Like he's not just a coach that's focused on putting the ball in the hoop. I'm pretty sure of that. I don't think there are many coaches in Springfield that are. So I would imagine that at least numerically it improves.
You're talking about the Hall of Fame, right?
Yeah, Springfield.
Yep. Yeah, he's a Naismith Hall of Famer, and that's not an accident. And just like Nolan's, that was his calling card. That's like you're going to attack people when they get off the bus. I think I've heard this pretty soon after it started happening, but just before the start of games, Corey Beck would punch Corliss right in the chest, which that's not a good idea, by the way. That your heart is right behind your sternum. But and I guess that's the same kind of mindset, that Kobe Suggs used to slap Matt Cronin in the face. Just like, man, you need to change your blood pressure just before you go out there.
I would also like Colby had some forearms, man. If you're going to do that,
I didn't want to be slapped by that dude.
No, get a student manager to do it, not the actual guy who had the grip like Colby has.
Did you ever see the highlights of him playing running back in high school?
Suggs?
Yeah.
No, but I can imagine he did play running back.
Yeah, in the dead tee, and they would just hand him the ball, and he just plowed through the middle. And he scored touchdowns.
Bull in a china shop, huh?
Yep. And he wasn't a running back except in that situation.
Bull in the china shop, man. It's pretty good. Hey, lots to put your money on today on Bet Saracen if you want. Got NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs, full slate of Major League Baseball games, Champions League as well. Should be a few SEC college baseball games too, and the SEC softball tournament starts today. It's all available on the Bet Saracen app. You got to be inside the state of Arkansas to use Bet Saracen. Apple users, just download it from the App Store. Android users, go to Google Play. You can always use any web browser at betsaracen.com. We'll be back to wrap up halftime in just a moment.
This is Halftime.
With everyday low prices, locally owned Yeager's Hardware is your Mother's Day shopping destination. Celebrate Mom this weekend with these red-hot Mother's Day specials this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. All trees, shrubs, and tropical plants are 25% off. Hanging flower baskets are only $7.99, and hanging basket ferns are only $11.99. Mom will love a new 4-foot porch swing, now only $59. Yeager's Ace Hardware is committed to offering real service with real savings this Mother's Day weekend. Find us online at YeagersHardware.com.
Are you tired of the overcrowded fitness centers? Would you like a fitness option where you can actually work out? Then let's hang out. The Hangout is Fort Smith's newest fitness facility. It has an 8,000 square foot gym, indoor tennis, pickleball, and basketball with more sports coming soon. The Hangout offers group and individual training in the gym and boasts 3 active tennis pros to help you grow your game. Stop in today at 5400 Gary Street or thehangoutfs.com for more information. Be a part of something different. Fitness, sports, and more. Let's hang out.
We're back with the action. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim. With an irresistible taste and zero sugar, Coke Zero Sugar is a must-try for any sports fan. So make sure you... Wait, Jim, I didn't mean try it right now. We're still on the air.
Best Coke ever? Take a taste, Jen.
Really?
No, not right now, Jen. We got a game to call.
The Party Place has everything you need for special occasions. Graduation, Cinco de Mayo, Memorial Day, a luau, you name it.
Pre-order your balloons now for the month of May.
Mother's Day, baby showers, party supplies for 1 to 100.
Locations in the Conway and Fort Smith. The Party Place in the Tuesday Morning Building behind Ashley Furniture in Fort Smith. Get ready for your party at the
Do you need gutters but think they're too expensive or that you need to get the soffit or fascia ready? No worries. Call the Gutter Guy. He does it all. No need to call multiple companies to get the right gutters for your home. Call the Gutter Guy. Quality, low maintenance, leak-free gutters with a 5-year warranty. The Gutter Guy also does vinyl siding and windows. The Gutter Guy. Over 30 years experience. Call 226-1259. Call the Gutter Guy.
Barrels and Brews Bottle Shop at the Hub and Chaffee Crossing has everything you need for your favorite activities. Our knowledgeable staff will be glad to help you with the current specials and our new arrivals of must-have bourbons and whiskeys. Hit the cooler for some of the coldest beer in town or choose from our large selection of amazing wines. Order online or call ahead Monday through Saturday from 10 a.m. till 10 p.m. at the Hub in Chaffee Crossing. Barrels and Brews, voted best of the best in Fort Smith. It will put a smile on your face.
Hey guys. Don't be that dad without life insurance. When thanks to Ethos, you can be that great dad with life insurance to help keep his family living exactly like they do now, secure and protected in the event of the unexpected. With a fast and easy online experience, some policies as low as $1 a day and up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam, just a few health questions. Ethos makes getting life insurance protection hassle-free. E for easy, E for Ethos at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com.
Precision Garage Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all your garage door needs, including garage door repair and new garage doors and openers. Fully licensed and insured with the largest showroom in Northwest Arkansas at 1907 Town West Drive in Rogers and in Fort Smith at 416 North 10th Street. Call Precision Garage Door today at 844-PDS-DOOR or check them out online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Financing is available. Precision Garage Door, voted best garage door company of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Don't blink, don't weep, don't walk your feet, don't fall from grace, behave, don't trip, sachet. Okay, sachet. Don't hit, don't blame, don't snap, insane. Don't act your age, don't change your name. It's all the rage. Do less, don't yell, don't laugh, but do smile. Don't have a glass, don't stay a while, don't take a pic. Don't feel so sick.
Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
It's the time of the year where I do start looking at the D1 baseball projections for the postseason, and they just came out with their latest ones where they've got Arkansas as a number 5 seed, the top 4 overall seeds. They have Kentucky, A&M, Tennessee, and Clemson in that order. They have projected, coming to Fayetteville, Texas, St. John's. That's a program Arkansas has got history with in recent postseason matchups. and Little Rock, the Trojans, who lead the OVC, and we've already seen them this year. They've got the Fayetteville region across from this weekend's opponent. Mississippi State would be hosting in Starkville, according to D1. Oklahoma State, La Tech, and Samford being the teams there. That's juicy. I mean, that's 7 teams. Really, I would even say Samford, because every time we go to Birmingham or Hoover for the SEC tournament, the team practices at Samford. So it's a juicy team field of 8 right there. I'm all about it. I'd love for Texas to come here. They're playing really well now too.
I think that'd be awesome.
And they get these right sometimes. Like the D1 baseball guys know, because they do things, not D1, like the selection committee. They will do things in a regional sense. I don't think that the selection committee for basketball cares about any sort of regionality whatsoever. The baseball committee does, and that's why you see. I mean, St. John's is not from the region, but good luck finding a team near New York City.
They're going to travel no matter what.
They have to travel. Little Rock in Texas, man, that makes sense. Then then again, there was last year you were sent Santa Clara, and there was when they could have gone and played in Stanford, but a lot of times they hit these ones right on the money.
Yeah. So you'd have a really, if that happens and Little Rock comes here, and they'd be the 4, right?
Yes.
And so you got unique first game situation against Arkansas that you'd have starting pitcher Jackson Wells from Rogers, who led the nation in ERA last year. Arkansas could have had him out of Rich Mountain. ULR took him instead. So, yeah, it's just kind of it's kind of interesting to see how that might work out.
Matt, all right, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich. Can you get a pick?
I'm a Barca guy, and I'm a Liverpool guy. I'm a UV guy. I'm going to go captain Harry Kane scores a brace. And I'm a Dortmund guy. Let's just go for, like you say, let's go for extra time and penalty kicks.
Ooh, you're going with my World Series strategy.
I like it.
I love it, man. I hope it happens for you. I'm rooting for you. I'm not rooting for any of the teams. I'm just rooting for you. I'm on your side. I'm on your side too, listeners, as we always are. And thank you very much, Clay Henry. Always appreciate you joining us.
Thank you.
On these Wednesdays. For Clay, for MJ, for the C Unit, I'm Phil. Download the Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast and stay tuned for Ruskin and Zach. And get up, get out, and get better.